was to be crazy with them and they hold old people hostage in the basement to take their social security check. Is that a stereotype of black people? Because this is what the fuck is going on in the movie. Whoever says that I keep freezing, then you just need to refresh your screen. My screen is not frozen. So I don't know if you're sincere or if you're in here just, playing this little game of trolling. But I've been at this too long to fall for that bullshit, because when my screen freezes, it freezes on my end too. So shut the fuck up, okay? I turn this show into another episode of shut the fuck up. Because some of these fake black outrage people need to shut the fuck up too. This is the thing that pisses me off, is that we have enough racism in this country that we can point out racist shit all day. We can point out racist stereotypes all day. We can point out black people cooning and doing fuck shit to make us look bad in the media all day. You don't have to make up some shit that's not there. I want you to be aware of these motherfuckers, because this is what they're doing. See, this, y'all get mad at me for this. These is y'all poverty pimps. These is y'all poverty pimps. Every fucking thing that goes on, they call themselves new black media. And when I say new black media, I'm not talking about the people that say it. If you're black and you're on a platform or you're putting shit out there, you are part of the black media that should be projecting better images of black people. But I find that most of the new black media doesn't do shit but actually find other black people as targets to talk shit about and bring them down. Am I lying? Somebody tell me where I'm lying. For my moderators or somebody that can hear me, can you please type into the chat to people that if their screen is freezing, they just need to refresh it. It's on their end. It's probably YouTube. So one of my moderators can put that in there. I've been watching a lot of people lately this week. They're not really sending out notifications for a lot of people this week. And I also noticed that a lot of people videos will glitch and then they come back in the middle while they're talking. So it's probably on YouTube's end. But if somebody could just type that in there and say that they need to refresh it, because it's not on my end. Is actually the YouTube name, right? So with that said, have people, the moderators tell them they need to refresh their screen, because on this end, it's fine. It's YouTube that's been hacking ass all week, but whatever, right? So I want y'all to understand that these are the things that we need to be aware of. When a black person or a black platform or anybody that has a voice tends to always make every single thing about racism, even when it's not, or cooning, even when it's not, that tells you that they are doing nothing more than playing on your oppression. They're playing on your emotions. They're playing on the rage that you already have going for the things that happen to us in this country, trying to give you some shit to be mad about that don't even exist. Shout out to you, Mr. Melody. Thank you for that. And I'm much love to you, babe. So really, it pisses me off, because I'm watching this. If y'all have watched this movie, y'all, you watched the movie. Now, let's talk about what's going on in this movie. So they say, there are people saying that there are the typical, black stereotypes, once again, of black people in the movie, my black man. This is why we can't get anywhere, black people. So this is not me arguing with anybody, because if I threw some names out there, I'm sure some of y'all know some of the people I'm talking about. Yes, I'm talking about who you think I'm talking about, and some people you probably don't know I'm talking about. But this is what y'all will call arguing. This is what I call bullshit that needs to be called to the table. Now, how do we ever begin to build something for black people that when every time somebody builds something, all the fuck we do is find something wrong with it, even when there's nothing wrong with it? Now, somebody may not like Tyler Perry, right? Tyler Perry is out here and he's doing things that some people don't agree to sometimes, right? He got on a dress. He acting like a woman sometimes. People disagree with that. Okay. Maybe he shouldn't be doing those things, but he is a black man that owns his own black studio, movie studio, yes? So we talk about building things in the black community. We talk about building these things up so that we can have what we have. And then when we do, all the fuck we do is try and find something negative in what they're doing. I think the movie that he just put out, Fall from Grace, was a really good movie. I don't like watching TV or movies very much. I like scary movies and I like suspenseful movies. The movie was a suspenseful movie. So I want you to look at the movie. So if anybody is telling you that it's negative stereotypes, I saw a black attorney. Yes, y'all saw the black attorney that was young. She was in her 20s. She was an attorney, was she not? Had a law degree. Wait a minute. And then it was an office full of black people. Her boss was a black man. The other girl she worked with was a black man. The other man she worked with was a black man. Was we missing that? No, because I got somebody saying, of course, her husband had to be light skinned. Shut the fuck up. Y'all just looking for any fucking thing to say. You do know that black people coming like all shades. Like you got all these dark skinned people in the motherfucking movie, but you got one dude that's light skinned and y'all found that to be a problem. Shut the fuck up. Really. I saw a husband that was black that when his wife was upset and frustrated, he dealt with her frustration very well. He didn't get mad back at her. He just told her how much he wanted her to believe in herself, right? I seen all of this before I seen the so-called stereotypes that we talk about. Then somebody said, yes, and they portrayed the typical fat black woman again. Y'all some stupid motherfuckers. Did you see how many skinny black women was in the movie? Felicia Rashad is in the movie. That's just what the fuck she looked like at this point in her life. The fuck are you talking about? So Tyler Perry went and got Felicia Rashad to play this part, not because she was Felicia Rashad, but because she's a fat woman. He wants to keep up the stereotype. Do you see how fucking dumb that sounds? I mean, do y'all see that? There was a variation. So now we're not allowed to show any fat black woman in anything, even though there's a gang of fat black women running around. We're not supposed to ever represent them, or every time we represent fat black women, somehow we're projecting the man. If you don't get the fuck out of here with that shit. So I guess we should only project skinny women, and we should never show fat black women as if they don't fucking exist. Really? Is this is what we're doing? Y'all was trying so hard to find so many things about this movie to make it racist and to make him cooning, and none of that was in the goddamn movie. None of that was in this movie. It was a black movie made by a black man with black actors, and it was giving you a scenario of some crazy shit. Now let's talk about what the scenario of the movie was. It is a man who was working with his mother. She was holding old people and fucking with old people to keep their checks and was keeping them locked up in her house, okay, saying she was taking care of them. Now, her son, which was in cahoots with her, was going around marrying and messing with really wealthy, not wealthy, but women who had money and homes and things that he could fucking take from them and was acting like he was in love with them. I don't see no stereotypes in there about black people at all. So every time somebody creates something, no matter what we do, we're going to find the negativity in it when it's another black person. Let me tell y'all something. I'm tired of the fake black outrage. I'm going to need y'all to see this shit for what it is. And when you have people that are on here that have platforms, people that have voices, and they're out here writing articles, and they're out here telling you shit that ain't racist, you should suspect them people, because I'm going to tell you why. I used to work at a network, and I'm going to be nice tonight, because y'all tell me not to be arguing with people. So let's not name no names. But I used to work at a network that, guess what? Calls himself New Black Media. Guess what? Behind the scenes, there was arguments all the time because all they ever said was, well, you got to hit the hot topics. You got to make a topic hot. You know how many motherfucking times I didn't hit a topic because it was hot? Because it doesn't fucking fit what I do. I stay in my lane. If it doesn't fit into me, teaching black people how to see something, understanding the conditioning, understanding the media, and all of the stuff we deal with, then what the fuck am I going to hop on it for? I'll tell you why other people do. It's all about the money that you get. It's all about the views. If you have the timing, the title, right? These are the T's, right? I don't even remember what the third one was because I ain't got time for that bullshit. You got to get the timing and the title right. So when they take something that's not racist and they sensationalize it and give it to you as though it's some racist shit, y'all should pay attention to that. Hold on, y'all give me a second. Shout out to Dr. Shana in the house. How many of y'all subscribe to Dr. Shana? Dr. Shana, let me give Dr. Shana a wrench up in here. But shout out to Dr. Shana. Etienne is in the house. If you guys have not, I shared her video the other day. If you guys have not subscribed to her page, please go and do so. I don't love this woman for no reason. We don't roll on the Black agenda for no reason. Trust me, there's a good reason. And if you want to know what that reason is, you're going to find out. You follow this woman. She's very intelligent. She's very genuine. And I would say that anybody that rolls with me, you got to have knowledge, but you can have all the knowledge in the world, but be a stupid motherfucker or be fake. And I don't roll with fake people. And she is one of the most genuine people that I have ever, dealt with. So please follow her if you have not. Do yourself that favor and go ahead and give that sister a follow on her page. But I want y'all to beware of these kind of people. Because what they're doing is this is called poverty pimping. This is oppression pimping. They're taking us being angry about the situations we're in, and they're playing on every single thing that's being said here, right? And let me tell you something too. If you are going to turn around and you're going to tell Black people that we need to build our own studios, our own media, our own everything, and then Black people start to do it, I want you to beware of Black people who call themselves Black media and they're new, but all the fuck they do is just tear down Black people. All they do is go find the Black people they don't like, what they doing wrong, and we want to tell you why the fuck you shouldn't fuck with them. I have a problem with that. Right? So, I mean, I want y'all to think about that. So, anybody that you're watching and they over here telling you that shit, oh my God, his movie was so racist. It had all the kind of stereotypes. Then I heard some fat neck motherfucker. If you know who fat neck is, it's on you. But if you don't, just know he's fat neck motherfucker. No matter how much weight he lose, his neck gonna still stay fat. He was born that way. But I want you to know, the thing was, what if it was a woman? So a woman bashes a man in the head and kills him. What if a woman was playing a man out of his money and he got mad and he bashed her in the head? Would it be right? How would we look at it then? Shut the fuck up. That is so like, y'all do know. How many of y'all remember not too long ago, it was a thing for men to actually do this to women? If you want to be honest, like, do y'all remember not too long ago, there was a lot of men getting in trouble because they were actually marrying a gang of women? They had like 5 and 10 wives all across the United States, and they was danking all these women out of their loot. Y'all don't remember that? It was men doing that shit. It was Black men. It was white men. Like, that's what men were doing, and that's what this story was kind of portraying. A woman who was down on her love. She'd just been divorced to this motherfucker. She was sad. She did all the right things. She was taking it slow. She had a little bit of stuff she had built for herself, and here come this guy. He wooed her. He told her she was the best in the world. Like, this was actually an issue some years ago that was going on. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of men who were getting in trouble and they were going to jail for bigamy, having all these goddamn wives because it's against the law. But they were playing these women out of their money, and they were having a hard time getting their money back because they had married the women, and just this was their husband. You can't really say you were robbed. But then when they found out that these men had other wives, that was a way for the system to actually make these men pay because they saw it was a scheme, because now you got all these different wives. So this is actually something that was going on, and it seems like to me he played on it, he put a twist with it. If it was doing anything, it really wasn't downplaying Black men. If anything, it was showing Black women, because this man that was in cahoots with his mama to take people money like this, that would mean that he was kind of fruity like his mama was, and that means that she's the one that's crazy and she raised her son to be crazy, and they have this really weird relationship as a mother and a son out here doing this together. So can we not make something racist that's not y'all? Can we stop letting people do this in our community? Like, they just over here, oh God, and look at it. And it's ridiculous to watch the comments on Facebook and on social media for people who have posted these articles or people who have these videos. And it's a gang of Black people in the category like, yeah, that's what I said. He just portrayed more fat Black women. So let me get this straight. Now, when we talk about Lizzo, we all agree that way too many Black people is fat in this country. So you mean to tell me from now on, when like Bates Motel, yes, I be me, it's like Bates Motel, but Black people can't ever recreate none of that shit and all the characters just be Black? It was some weird shit like that, right? So at the end of the day, I'm just telling you, there were people in there who were saying yes, and they were agreeing to all of this. So you mean to tell me that every time we make a movie now, we cannot portray a big majority of the Black population? So we're not allowed to show a fat Black woman anymore because every fat Black woman in the entertainment industry is a mammy. Oh no, majority of Black women walking around here, we fat as fuck. Majority of America is fat as fuck. Let's be real. Are y'all mad when they portray fat white women in movies? I'm just saying, come on. To some extent, you're being ridiculous. There is a portion of the population that is represented by those people, and they look like real people to me. The fuck? So if we only got skin, now we can only do skinny people in the movies, or we playing in the mamminess and coolness. Shut the fuck up. This is why we can't get anywhere as Black people, because you got these other Black people that even when we make some progress, you want to throw everything out. You throw the baby out with the bathwater, and you don't give nobody credit. So if you didn't like him dressing up like a woman and Tyler Perry was Madea, okay. But that doesn't mean you got to find some shit wrong in this new movie that's not there. Because it's not there, y'all. It's not there. It was a suspenseful movie. It was a good movie. There was no stereotypes in it. There was black people that was fucking doing everything from being the attorneys to the head bosses at the public defender's office. Everybody in it that was black. The crazy people was black. The police was black. The attorneys was black. The criminal was black. The lady who got played was black. Everybody was black. So I don't know what the fuck you fake ass pro-black, fake ass racist, outraged motherfuckers want. What would you like to see in a movie for you not to have anything to say? It wouldn't matter. You know why? Because they gotta bring you that shit. Because they want views. So let me find something to play on your heartstrings. Let me scream racism, because instead of just staying in my lane, I want the shit that gets me views. I want the shit that gets me clicks. And I'm going to do the shit. I'm going to play this perspective that plays into your emotions so we can constantly keep black people outraged and make black people think that we can't never breathe for a fucking moment. You can breathe, y'all. Y'all can watch this movie and you don't have to go so hard that you're looking for fucking racism in it. You don't have to go so hard that you're looking for fucking cooning in it. You don't have to go so hard that you're trying to see something that's not there. God damn. Black people deal with enough in this motherfucking life. Can we just sit down and watch a movie and just let it be a fucking movie, y'all? Shout out to you, Laura. Thank you for that. Can we ever just do that? Detroit said racism is everywhere. It absolutely is everywhere. And you can find it at your local grocer. You can find it at your local police precinct. You can find it on your local fucking news channel. You can find it everywhere. So this is my point. When it's not there, stop trying to make it be there. That's my whole point. And for those of y'all that let these people do this, y'all got us calling them on that bullshit. Like nobody was in the comment section like, yo, you bugging, you trying to make some shit here that's not there. Everybody was like, oh, you're so right. Let me tell you something. If it's something that I hate the most about watching people on platforms, I hate to see people. Y'all, please don't ever do this. I know that sometimes y'all get cussed out depending on how you come at me, right? But everybody does not have to agree with me. Matter of fact, don't agree with me. Tonight, I'm going to give you a perspective of a friend of mine who has been arguing me down for months because politically, this is what he thinks about politics. So we're going to throw his idea out there and see what everybody else thinks about it. You do not have to agree with me. I get tired of watching people be on other people's platforms and whatever they say, they're like, oh yeah, girl. Oh yeah, brother. You telling it like it is. And then as soon as they be like, oh, you know, I don't like some shit. I don't like that shit either. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that too. Like we just agree with everything that they say. Fucking have, yes, groupthink. Thank you, Dr. Shauna. She said she hate groupthink. That's what it is. Everybody, nobody stops and says, wait a minute. Even though I like everything that you be saying, like I'm not feeling you on this one. Like I appreciate people who say that shit to me. Yeah, I get people all the time that say, you know me too. I don't agree with everything you say, but this one right here, girl, I agree with you on this, but I want you to know some of that other shit you said. I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. That means you're a thinker. That means you can think for yourself. And when I give you knowledge, it's not for you to just say everything that I say. It's so that you can take it and you can think. Intelligence is education used. Like, use that shit. People can have all kind of education. If you don't use it, then it ain't worth shit. Intelligence is when you take what you know and you put it to use. Courtney said, you lying. I don't know what that means without the means. Who lying? I'm lying? Yeah, y'all had to get Courtney out. You only timed out for 300 seconds, so you can think about it. You got 300 seconds, Courtney. Whatever the hell they look, you got 300 seconds to think about the next shit you gonna say when you can type in the chat. Get it right, or they might just block your ass. It ain't me. So choose wisely what you gonna say next, because that shit didn't make no sense. If you say it, I'm lying, and tell me how I am lying, right? People know there's folks in here that can vouch. How many of y'all I'm cool with and we don't always agree on everything? How many of y'all been in my comment section and said, I don't really agree with you on that one? And I'll be like, well, that's cool. We can agree to disagree. Shout out to you, Phyllis. Thank you for that. Courtney troll. I know Courtney got nothing better to do. Courtney better go find him a girlfriend. Boy, it's Friday night. If you have a job, you just got paid, right? Go on and take your girl out. Stop trolling. Go rub her booty or something. Watch some Netflix. Go watch Fall from Grace and see if it's racist or not. Do that. instead of sitting here trolling me. Go fuck with a woman that's real in your presence, not on the screen that can sit there next to you. Go talk to her. You ain't got nobody to talk to. Somebody said it was funny that her hair changed in the same scene. That might be true. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You could critique this movie from a perspective of you thought that his editing was like low budget. But let me tell you something. You get his brother a break. He got the first black studio that's producing all black stuff. He ain't got billions and billions going in, okay? He got money, but he got big bills too. So y'all leave him alone. He did the best he could. Didn't nobody say shit. How many of y'all remember I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? Y'all remember that movie? Do y'all remember? Now, they did that shit on purpose to be funny, all right? So just chalk it up like that. Just laugh at it and keep it pushing, okay? Even though one scene her hair was one way, the next way it was another. They're going to get it better next time, right? Y'all be looking too much with your looking asses. Don't be looking so hard. Y'all could overlook that shit. Leave that man alone. That you can critique, but what you cannot do is call this movie racist. This movie is not racist at all. And there are no stereotypes of black people in this movie. It's fake ass outrage, right? It's fake ass outrage, and you allow other black people to play on that. Stop letting black people do that. Make sure if you're listening to people, you're following them. Let's make sure that if they're going to pull something from a scenario or a situation, that it's really about something, right? We got too much racism, too much, bullshit like this that's in our face every day. You don't have to go make something that's not there. And I think it's even worse that you do it towards a black man that is actually trying to build something for us. How do we ever fucking get anywhere if this is what we do? Every time a black person does something, we always have to criticize it and critique it first. We always have to think the worst before we give them the best. Like, stop that shit. We're our own fucking worst enemy most of the time. And this is why. But I thought it was so ridiculous, all this fake ass outrage. Oh my God, his movie. Let me tell you, I saw all them headlines, all them articles. I was like, well, shit, let me go watch it. That's what made me watch it, because y'all know I don't watch TV. So I watched it. I rolled me a blunt, right? I got me some coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. It was like, 12 o'clock at night. I got me some coffee. And I sat there and I watched the shit. And I was looking for racism and I didn't find any. I was looking for coon and I didn't fucking find any. I actually found that I liked the movie a lot. It was good, right? So fuck out of here with that. Stop letting people play on y'all emotions. Stop letting folks use that nerve. That is called a tactic, and it's not genuine. It is something that the media and the news uses all the time, right? They play on your emotions. If you go and you take a philosophy class, you will understand all of that. This is why the news plays out in a certain way. Shout out to you, Paula. Thank you for that. This is why the news plays out when the news come on. Why do you think the last story, watch your news, the last story they will always leave you with will be a feel good. They tell you a bunch of shit that make you be all emotional, and then they leave you with a feel good. This is what they do. It's a method to this shit. So people are always trying to play on folks' emotions. It's a marketing tactic. Shout out to you, Go Figure. He said no one complained about the Kennedys who made their money from bootleg liquor and still give 5 cents from every bottle of liquor made in the United States. Shout out to you, Tracy. But see, all of the black people do stuff, but who is complaining? You don't hear any white people calling his movie racist. It's black people doing this shit to him. Shout out to you, Charmaine. 05 line. Absolutely. You should be able to disagree and be civil. Now, some things, we could disagree, but you might have to get away from me after I see your perspective. Now, we can agree to disagree, but depending on what we disagree on, you may have to get away from me, because depending on the seriousness of the things I take very valuable in my life. But you are correct that as a mature adult, people should be able to agree to disagree all of the time. Like, if everybody thought like you, that would be crazy. I like being me. I'm an individual, and I don't want anybody to really be like me. I want to be like myself, because that's the thing that makes me unique. Nobody can ever be me, right? So everybody like, oh, you when they call people to go. Shout out to you, Paula. Okay. So she says that I believe she wanted to write that she's a Pisces, and I agree with you on some things, and on other things I question. Well, shout out to you, Paula. That's what I want you to do. You do not have to agree with everything I say. Some things are facts. You should not argue with facts, because that's called cognitive dissonance. But if it is my opinion, and there are a lot of times that I give my opinion here as well as facts, and you do not have to agree with my opinion. You don't. And that's completely fine, right? So understand that you as an individual and a person that, everybody say, oh, they want to call somebody to go. Oh, you the greatest of all time. I want you to know in all of our ways we're all the go. Because I'm the greatest Mechee that there. So at the end of the day, I'm okay with standing in what I believe, and I don't need anybody else to be just like me. I don't need everybody to agree with me, and you shouldn't need everybody to agree with you either. You should be able to be okay with standing firm. There will come times in your life when you have to stand firm by yourself in a decision and say, nobody fucking else walks with me, but this is what I believe and I'm standing in it. And if you can't do that and you let the crowd sway you to and fro, now people should be able to sway your opinion about something if they bring you facts. The facts should change your opinion, but if you feel that, facts don't show that, then fuck out of here. Stand in what you believe, by all means, because I do. I want y'all to do the same damn thing. Shout out to you, Vanessa. Much love to you too, sis. Thank you. You have a question. Go ahead, and then I'm gonna move on though. Go ahead, ask your question. You gotta ask it fast, because when I stop looking at this chat and I get to go and I don't see that shit. So let me say as far as this fake outrage, let me give you something else to look at. Y'all do me a favor, right? Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not hit that notification bell. So I also want to talk about when it comes to this fake outrage, right? We're about to talk about Lizzo right now. So I want to tell you too, when everybody was trying to talk about Lizzo, I thought that it was ridiculous. There's a certain person, okay, your question is, has anyone ever threatened your life for speaking up for us? Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I did my first Bill Cosby video and I was talking about I didn't care about white women being raped or whatever black men did to white women, that wasn't my issue, because they've raped the hell out of us ever since we've been here, our minds and everything else. If you go watch my viral videos on my page, way at the beginning, it ain't monetized or none of that shit. I'm surprised they let it stay up there. But yeah, I had somebody got my cell phone number and they were texting me saying, how about if we come and rape you? I had some people following me in the beginning. I got quite a few things happening. Yeah, people fuck with me all the time. So I mean, it is what it is. It comes to territory. I ain't scared of nobody. And I don't think I walk around like a superhuman being, but I will tell you this is that I've never, even before being in this position, I don't just walk around like stupid and not aware of my surroundings, or I'm ready to defend and protect myself and me and my kids at any given time. So, it is what it is. I don't live in no fear, but I receive threats and shit like that all the time for what I do. Even from black people. Black people be mad at me because they're like, you ain't even black. You only half black. Well, damn, don't that make some of me black then? So you white. Well, I'm black too, then, ain't I? They be mad as fuck at me. So yeah, I get that shit from black people too. Trust and believe me. So let's talk about something else that I think was taken so completely out of context. And I thought that it was bullshit how everybody took it and ran with it in that manner, right? So Lizzo, let's talk about Lizzo. Lizzo did her little ass shake at the game, right? And everybody was like, oh, she out of order. She was out of order. But you know what else everybody else did? They took it and made it about her weight. Y'all are stupid as fuck for that. Let me tell y'all. I thought it was some bullshit, and I was shocked, not really shocked if you understand how the masses work, that everybody made what she did about her weight. So was it about her being fat, or was it about Lizzo being trifling? What was it about? What should it have been about? Because Lizzo has done something else recently. She's done a couple of other things, but I didn't have shit to say about it because it didn't even matter to me, right? But it does matter to me in this moment because I want to say something that I'm tired of seeing happening. It seems like to me, everybody's just mad because Lizzo's fat. If that's your problem, what the fuck is wrong with you? Everybody's going around saying, oh, Lizzo is talking about body positivity and she's encouraging people to be fat. I've never heard Lizzo tell anybody to be fat. Matter of fact, in the beginning, Lizzo actually had a trainer and was working out. And then she said she started to go on tour, and I've toured, and trust me and believe me, it's hard to eat right and keep up with what you need to do and exercise and do any of them things when you're on tour. But also let's talk about the fact that she might be out of shape. I need y'all to shut the fuck up because there's some of y'all that's skinny, and Lizzo could probably run circles around your punk ass in heels. You know how I know? Because a person who is unhealthy cannot dance around on a motherfucking stage for hours performing a show. And Lizzo does dance and Lizzo does perform. So some of y'all that's skinny, she could probably Talk while she's on the treadmill, you motherfuckers. Do you know what type of stamina and lung power that it takes for you to sing and dance at the same fucking time? Half you motherfuckers with your skinny asses can't even get on a treadmill and get on a treadmill and have a conversation while you're on a treadmill. Get on the treadmill, call your homegirl and talk to her and see how well that works. That shit ain't easy. Skinny don't mean healthy either. And I've been quiet about this shit for a long time. The fuck you should have been focusing on is the fact that Lizzo is trifling. You know how I know y'all not focusing on that? You know how I know you're not focusing on that? Because you ain't said shit about Megan Thee Stallion. You ain't said shit about Nicki Minaj. You ain't said shit about fucking Cardi B. And even if y'all gonna say Cardi B ain't black, I don't give a fuck. She out there and she's projected an image to all of these other black people. So what's the issue? Because they all trifling ass motherfuckers. They all out here talking about, wait a minute, no. So you got the women I just named. They songs literally talk about sucking on penis, sitting on penis, how they vaginas is real wet. Like these are the lyrics to their music. These women are always half naked, and I hear none of y'all complaining about looking at their bodies. Shout out to you, Michael. I love you back. Thank you. Thank you for that, Michael. So why is the issue not her triflingness? Sandra 77 said Cardi B is black. Cardi B is not black, that she is like ADOS. She doesn't consider herself black. We do understand that through the diaspora that people were dropped off everywhere and that she does have, African heritage in her. But Cardi B has also told you she's not black. She has also told you that she's in an interracial relationship. And you look at her mom and her dad, she's not fucking black. She's not. She got to go down her lineage to find some blackness. And in this country, she's not considered black either. She's considered a Latino. She's not black. So shout out to you, Paula. But she is portraying the black image of black women and selling herself out there like this is what people want. So she's taking that and she's projecting herself off to somebody said Latino, black, same thing. Okay, we're not going to have this conversation all day long up in here. Let me tell you something. Race is a social construct. So in this country, she's not a black woman. In this country, she's not a black woman. Lizzo and Cardi B are not the same in this country. And then people always want to say, well, Dominican and all these things are not a race. Didn't you just hear me say race is a social construct? She's not black in this country. She doesn't even claim black. So let's not start a whole nother conversation, because my next question would be to you. Why are we so eager to make somebody black that doesn't even fucking want to be black? Why are we so eager to make her black and claim this trifling bitch? Somebody please tell me that. Aren't we all Americans? No, Bryce, we're not. We're black people in this country, ADOS, black people in this country. Let me tell you what they are. They are the slaves that have continued and started building this country on their bodies, blood, sweat, and tears and backs. We are not Americans, and we do not have the same rights and regulations around this motherfucker. They treat us worse than they treat immigrants. So miss me with that. Ain't we all American bullshit? Of course we're American. The question is, what kind of American are you? So we're not going to have this argument all day as far as what actually is, because there's a lot of things that should be actual and factual in this country, but it's not. It's called socialization, you guys. Socialization. So society has given you a social construct, and the way socialization is in this country, America has given you something that's called race. And they have broken people down in certain categories, and that is how we are acknowledged. So you can talk about what it should be, what it can be, if you study this shit to the 10th power, or we can just talk about what the fuck it is in this country. I want to talk about what it is. And that's what it is. That woman is not black in this country. She does not see herself as black. Go parade her mama and her daddy around. Nobody would fucking tell you that they're black at all. They don't claim being black. In this country, they're not even considered black. So I don't want you to tell me what's not considered a race. I want you to fucking tell America what's not considered a race. Because when they asked you of what your ethnicity is on a motherfucking form, guess what? They got black under there, do they not? And then they got black mixed with Latino. So they're mixing the fact of ethnicity and race, right? So let's just talk about what it is. That's what it is. Okay, y'all? So we're not going to go all off into that thing because that's a whole nother conversation that it won't matter because at the end of the day, we're going to have to agree to disagree because I'm sure y'all going to keep sitting in y'all conclusions. Do whatever you want to do. I'm looking at what the fuck it is, right? So now, again, why is everybody so outraged about Lizzo but not these other chicks that I just named? When is the last time that you saw somebody make 11 videos about Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion? These motherfuckers walk around naked all the time. But maybe y'all don't notice because they don't have a gut hanging over. Maybe because they don't have 3 rows and all that cellulite ain't on their ass cheeks in between that G-string. Now, my thing is, Lizzo running around here trifling as fuck, but at the end of the day, too, Lizzo also doesn't have music that just outright says, I'm sucking on penis for money. I'm sitting on a penis for some money. My coochie is this. My body is that. Those are actually their lyrics. This is what their music is saying. At least her music isn't saying those kind of things, right? So I'm not trying to sit here and defend her. My question would be, why is everybody focused on Lizzo's weight and saying she's a bad example when it comes to that? No, the bottom line is that media is always trying to project black women as hoes and nothing but sex objects. So since all the skinny bitches got it for the skinny girls, now they just need a fat girl to teach all the fat black girls to be a fat hoe. It's no different. No different. So why are we mad about her weight? Why are you not mad about the fact that she's trifling? So I don't know if you have seen the most recent thing, but how many of you have heard of TikTok? My daughter got a TikTok. That's how I learned about it. She made a little video. She's so geek. She got 50,000 views, y'all. She's like, Mom, I know that doesn't seem like anything to you. I'm like, girl, shoot, I ain't got 50,000 views on a video in a while. You doing the damn thing. So check it out, right? So I learned about it because of my daughter. But how many of you have seen the video? She's on TikTok. And she is it's like an app where you can play other people's voices, act like you singing and stuff. You can edit videos, quick videos to make them funny. And she is on her knees and she is standing in front of a guy acting like she is getting ready to unzip his pants and give him head. And she is mouthing some song or movie or something that's saying about how much she wants to eat it and how hungry she is and how much she's about to eat this thing, right? Referring to his penis. She's trifling as fuck. And see, the reason why she doesn't seem to want to humble herself in any kind of way is because, one, she's very immature, obviously, but also y'all keep coming at the wrong thing. Stop arguing with this fucking girl about her weight. Why don't you talk about her actions? Because her being fat doesn't have anything to do with the fact that she's trifling as hell. And she is projecting an image that says, in order to be accepted or in order to be sexy, that this fucking, to be sexy or some shit, that you always have to be naked or you have to always be sexualizing yourself. That's the issue that should be being addressed with her. Not the fact that she's fucking fat. Lizzo could lose weight today. Would y'all be cool with that? If Lizzo got in the gym, she got her a motherfucking trainer, and in 4 months, Lizzo was skinny as fuck. But she was still doing the same shit she's doing. She's still showing up with G-strings up her ass. She's still turning around on kids' platforms, teenagers, acting like she about to suck some penis. She's still walking around here doing this shit. She's making videos talking about, if my name is in your mouth, so is my pussy, bitch. So if she got skinny tomorrow, but she kept doing this shit, would y'all be okay with it? Would y'all have fucking 11 videos to make about this girl? So my question would be for all of y'all that have been focusing on this woman's weight, what is wrong with you? Because if that's what you see the problem as, then it tells me you have a problem. And your problem is that you have seemed to fallen into this standard that if we don't have the kind of body, and then y'all wonder why the fuck girls are out here. Let me tell you something. For the women who are out here getting fake bodies, they're doing that shit for society because it's people like society who's fucking and running around here telling everybody you ain't worth nothing or you an issue if you fat as fuck. Shout out to you, Michael. I know that's right. He said American means white. Everybody else here to serve. So I want y'all to think about that. You only have a problem with what she's doing because what y'all don't want to see is the subconscious in this, right? You don't want to see what everybody is really thinking. So the bottom line is that you're disgusted by her weight because you have to look at it because she's fat. You're really not outraged at her showing off her body. You're outraged because you have taken on society's norm of beauty. And what you're saying to her is that you're not beautiful enough to show your body off. So we need you to cover your fat ass body up. So that tells me a lot about y'all. Y'all not outraged at the image that she projects. To all the little fat black girls running around here. And then this is what I mean by fake outrage, because you got black folks on black platforms talking about, oh, she fat, and obesity is an epidemic, and this is a problem, and that is a problem. Skinny motherfuckers die every day. But if you really wanted to talk about the problem and why she's fat and obesity in America, well, let's go to the root of it all. Well, most of America is fat, and it's not because they're black. Most of America is fat because the government actually pumps all that shit into your body. They want you to be fat. It's because you can go and buy cereal, and in your Honey Nut Cheerios, there's fucking arsenic in it and paint thinner, and we don't read the fucking ingredients. So all of the sicknesses we have, sugar is very addicting like a drug, and it is made that way. There are things inside of your McDonald's food and all of your things that actually make you come back and crave this shit like a drug. So this is what I want you to understand. Is that the way food is produced and made today, it is made to make you hooked, to make you fat. Your body is not able to digest the stuff that they give you because of all the preservatives, all of the shit that ain't supposed to be in there. So if you want to talk about the real issue, get the fuck off one fat black girl, you stupid motherfuckers, especially when you're a black person. I was so discouraged at all the black women running around here tearing that black woman down. You trifling motherfuckers. But you so pro-black. Let's talk about the food deserts and all the hot Cheetos and all the motherfucking ramen noodles that's in your community that she probably grew up eating. First of all, if children are given this food when they grow up and we're not taught to eat right, and even when we think we eat right, we talked about that shit before plenty of times on here. When you talk about the food that everybody eats and the way that the food has been tainted, you can't even eat right when you try to eat right. So now I got to go to the store, and just to make sure my shit is right, I got to buy organic. So if I don't buy organic, what the fuck am I buying over here? Back in the day, a bell pepper was a bell pepper. No matter which one you bought, it was good for you. It wasn't genetically modified. Shout out to you, Savvy. I love you back. Thank you for that. Ephraim, thank you for that. You can actually buy fruits and vegetables that had seeds in them back in the day. So understand that there is an epidemic of obesity in America. It has nothing to do with a black woman or a black thing. And it is done that way for a reason. When we were growing up, girls did not have double D titties when they were 12. You know why they do? Because all of the meat that you eat has hormones pumped into it so that the chickens will get fatter over time. They will grow to be bigger. And when you're children and you're eating that shit, it goes into your body. And this is why children are fatter than ever before. Girls are more developed than ever before. And if you really want to get deeper, you can talk about the fact that a lot of this food is pumped into black communities and low income communities and are not as pumped in much into white communities. Shout out to you, Don Jackson. So who's the real culprit here? Y'all mad at Lizzo, or is Lizzo just a victim of the real culprits, which is this country who try to keep everybody motherfucking fat because of the shit that they give us? And they do it on purpose. How many times have I told y'all that the food brings the illnesses? And the hospital and the pharmaceutical companies are not about you being healthy. They actually are about giving you something that they can treat. Fuck a cure. Why would they cure something that they caused? They want you to be this way because it brings health problems, which constantly brings you into the hospital, which is an industry, which constantly keeps the pharmaceutical companies paid because there's so much shit they give you medicine for that you know what they can tell you? They can tell you this, well, just eat better, right? Cut this out of your diet, add this into your diet, take more of these herbs, take more of these supplements. And at the end of the day, you will be all better. You don't even need to take these 5 motherfucking prescriptions. But they will never tell you that. And somebody said Lizzo is a victim. Nobody said that Lizzo was a victim of her actions. What I'm saying to you is, at the end of the day, everybody got upset about her G-string being out of her ass, but then it all turned to her weight. So, were you that outraged the last time you seen Rihanna's fucking nipples through her sheer shirt she wears? Let's be real. Were you mad when all of you men got to see Rihanna's nipples when she wore that sheer shirt? Were you outraged at that? Oh, but let Lizzo go to the club. Okay, let's say Lizzo doesn't go to a basketball game like that. Lizzo's going to go to a nightclub, just like Rihanna did. And she's going to wear a sheer shirt and no bra and show you all her saggy titties. Will you have a problem with it? Because I didn't hear anybody say a fucking thing about Rihanna. I'll wait. This is the problem. Y'all made it about Lizzo's weight. Why are you not making it about her actions? Because her being on TikTok the other day, acting like she's sucking a penis and sending that shit out on the internet and thought it was cute, that had nothing to do with her weight. That had everything to do with her being a trifling motherfucker that's out there in the music industry. Once again, you got a black woman projecting herself no matter what size she is and showing you that black women are not good for anything but sex. That should be the problem here. That should really be the problem coming from a black person trying to tell you what the problem is. Now, if all other people want to talk like that, Jillian Scott, she's a trainer, so she probably should think about her weight. That's probably the first thing on her mind. But if you are a black person calling yourself black media, you're giving black commentary, you're talking about black news to black people. How the fuck did you talk about her fatness, but you left out the fact that this woman is projecting herself to be a fucking sex object once again? Shout out to you, LaShawn. Thank you for that. Send it to me, and I will I'll shout out, tell everybody where it's at. Okay, that's a good one right there. So Desi D said, but we let Jill Scott slide though. Are y'all mad at Jill Scott? That was a good right example. Is anybody mad at Jill Scott? Jill Scott is fat. She's been fat. She's lost weight. She go back up. Is anybody mad at Jill Scott? No. Why? Because nobody's mad that Jill Scott is fat. She's not running around here showing it off being trifling. So this is what I want to say to you. Somebody said Jill Scott is sexy. That's why. Let me tell you something. I've seen plenty of pictures of Jill Scott, and let's understand this. Let's get this the fuck understood too. What is sexy? Maybe that's y'all problem too. You do know that sexy is not a look. Who the fuck told you that? See, that's the problem. Everybody think that sexy is being, unclothed or being naked. Yes, sexy is a vibe. Sexy is an energy. You can watch the most clothed woman walk into a room and be sexy. You can watch a man walk in a room. He can walk past you and just smell good. And the way he walked past, the way he carried himself, that shit is sexy. Sexy is not a look. Sexy is a fucking energy that you bring about yourself when you walk into a place. And let me tell you why you would say Jill Scott is sexy, because Jill Scott is not out here half naked. But you're making my point, because if it's about her being fat, if that's the issue, y'all would be mad at Jill Scott for being fat. So that's what I'm saying. So is the issue her being fat, or was the issue her being trifling, y'all? But see, we just let people talk all day and we don't listen to the words that come out their mouth, and we don't look at shit for what it is and take it for face value. So are we mad about, I need to know, like, are we mad at Lizzo for being fat? Or are we mad at Lizzo for being trifling? Which one is it? Because a lot of people taking that perspective sound like hypocrites to me. Because like you said, they're not talking shit about Jill Scott. Was anybody talking shit about Queen Latifah back in the day when she was fat as fuck? No. So don't let nobody, especially a motherfucker who used to be fat and they still fat today, got the nerve to call somebody else out for being fat. So let me tell you what we should be saying about Lizzo instead of what the fuck is being said about Lizzo. Lizzo is nothing more than the fat version of show all black women they can be hoes. Let me tell you why they have a fat girl doing it. They have a fat girl doing it because they want other fat black girls to get in the game and stop feeling just because you fat, you can't be out here being a hoe. You can't not sexualize yourself. We don't just want the skinny black women to think that they are can be sexualized or that they can run around here being hoes. We want the fat black girls to know that they can do the same thing too. It's what it is it's over sexualizing the black woman, and what they're doing is being equal about it across the board instead of it just being about skinny black. But you know them folks on their networks that just want these views, they ain't really thought about the logic and none of that. They just say some ridiculous shit because they know ridiculousness gets a reaction and reaction gets views and titles and names get you motherfucking clicks. And if you say something to a nigga and you tweet them, they just might tweet you back. And then you might end up on MSN talking about how the fuck you was talking about them. It's all a game with a lot of these motherfuckers on their platforms. Shout out to you, James. It actually is. James said that genetically enhanced food is making the children get hyper and overactive and with the hormones. But that's what I'm saying. So we're going to talk about the real problem here. Once again, the problem comes back to not Lizzo, but... And Black Butterfly says, sexy is confidence and carrying yourself with class, grace, and intelligence. Now, see, that's the thing. I think that sexiness is left up for everybody's interpretation. But the real thing about sexy is the way somebody carries themselves. It really is. Because if sexy is just the way somebody dressed, then nothing else would matter. You could be a stupid motherfucker and that's still sexy. It just depends on the eye of the person. Like, I'm a sapiosexual, which means that I am sexually attracted. It is a turn on to talk to someone that is intelligent. So no, I don't want you to look like dog doodle or the bottom of my shoe, right? But I would tell you that a conversation with a man that is intelligent will make him 100 times more sexy to me than he was before he opened his mouth. But you can open your mouth and be the sexiest man in the world and you can fuck it all up because you just became real ugly to me. Ain't nothing sexy about you no more because you just said the shit that you said. So for me, those are a turn on and a turn off, right? So it just depends on what a person sees as sexy. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody told on themselves. All these people that was like, oh, you know, Lizzo fat as fuck. I know that y'all got problems with fat people. It's your problem. Why you mad at fat people? There are people out here who really like fat folks. There are some men out here and women that like, they're chubby chasers. There are some men that like fat women, and the fatter you are, the better. I know women who have men that chase them because they fat. And if they lose weight, those men don't want them no more. I swear to God. They love a roll. So what I'm saying is, how do you get to project with all of these people that live in this country what's sexy and what's not? So let's keep it to what it is, right? Like, being overweight is not healthy, but let's not get it twisted. People who are skinny can be sick as fuck too. It's what is the lifestyle that you live? What do you put in your body? How are you doing it? And majority of America, even though they're not overweight, just about everybody is not healthy. So don't think that just because somebody is skinny, that means they're healthy either, right? So we should be focused on her being trifling across the board. What I see this as is Lizzo taking the reign to be the trifling, over-sexualized Black woman that is fat. So now we have skinny Black women who are over-sexualized and sell that shit. Now we got a fat one, so now we can get Black women all across the board, because now we're going to have fat Black girls running out here thinking I could be sexy too. And where I wasn't confident, so I wasn't dressing half naked, and I was scared to approach these boys, now I can go out to the club and I'm going to wear a crop top too, because, you know, Lizzo said I could do that. I'm going to have me a couple of drinks. And now these boys going to be paying me some attention, and now I feel good too, because attention makes me feel like somebody, because we don't love our motherfucking selves, and that's for most human beings. We don't love our motherfucking selves, and next thing you know, all the fat Black girls out here hoeing their asses out just like everybody else. So that's what the bigger issue should be. Not that she's fat. If you don't like fat, then that's fine. Some people like fat. And let me tell you something else too. Just because somebody's fat doesn't mean that they're not in shape. I'm going to tell you again if I move on to the next subject. Get your skinny ass on the treadmill for 30 minutes. And call your friend and talk to them and see if you can hold a conversation while you're on the treadmill. And if you can't, I want you to shut the fuck up. Because I watch Lizzo give 2.5, 3-hour shows. She's singing, keeping note, and she dancing at the same motherfucking time. And she ain't out of breath. So she might be healthier than some of you motherfuckers. If you want to talk about obesity, talk about where the problem comes from in America. Because Lizzo definitely did not create obesity. She is not the one that made it be good. She's not projecting it. It is the government that does that to everybody for a reason. So let's talk about that if you're going to talk about fat. And if you're going to fucking talk about the way she acts, talk about the way she acts, not the way that she looks. Her actions are trifling whether she's skinny or not. And if y'all not that outraged and watching these skinny hoes walk around here and all these superstars with their asses hanging out, with half their body hanging out, doing all this trifling shit, are y'all offended at all them bitches on World Star Hip Hop? Who all they do is show their body or act like they having sex and they got millions and millions of subscribers. They're nobody. They're just hoes on Instagram that you motherfuckers follow every single day. Half you motherfuckers that was agreeing and talking all that shit about Lizzo being fat, you motherfuckers sit around all day and watch them hoes on World Star Hip Hop all over Instagram who's naked as fuck. They be on the counter with their ass out. You was just mad because Lizzo ass was on the counter and it was a big ass. Y'all wasn't mad at no, I'm sorry, it was a fat ass. Y'all was mad at the fat ass, but y'all cool with the big asses that ain't even real that's sitting on the damn counter. So miss with that bullshit, because I've never seen any of y'all that are black go this hard after a skinny black superstar who is out here with their ass hanging out, literally singing lyrics about having sex. I haven't seen y'all go that hard on a skinny motherfucking black woman who is out here trifling as fuck and call themselves a superstar. I ain't seen y'all do that. So it seems like to me that's not really the issue. Y'all full of shit. So Lizzo's trifling, and it ain't because she's fat. It's because she's out here projecting herself in ways that she should not. A lot of girls are looking up to her. A lot of people watch her. You shouldn't be on TikTok, a fucking kid's site where people are doing stuff, even though all these other sites are that way and you're pretending to suck somebody's dick, Lizzo. That's what the problem is with Lizzo. She's being seen by too many people and she's projecting herself in such a manner that once again, it makes black women look bad. Not fat black women, but women fucking look bad, period. She makes black women look bad. That's my issue with the Lizzo. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all like this video. Y'all share this video. Subscribe if you have not. Hit that notification bell so when YouTube not hating, right? You'll get notified like 50% of the time. Shout out to you, Paula. Thank you for that. Very true. Society is telling people what is acceptable and how it should be. And I meant to say I have a question. You have a question? Okay, well, you can ask the question. I'm shaming fat shamers, right? Everything is shame. I'm in here shaming fat shamers tonight, right? Like everything is shaming. I see some shit the other day. They were saying something about a mom. People are mom shaming. If y'all don't shut the fuck up, I wasn't going to remove that word shaming from the damn dictionary because we use that shit way too damn much. Because I don't know what you mean. It doesn't help y'all's agenda to clean up the community. What do you mean? By cleaning up the community, like literally go clean up the community. Because I've walked around some communities and picked up bottles and mattresses and, junk on the ground. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, clean up the community. So you guys, y'all do me a favor, like this video, share this video, subscribe, and we're going to move on to the next thing I want to talk about, right? So I want to ask y'all this question, you guys, and y'all tell me yes or no, right? This is the yes or no question. I really want to know what y'all have to say. I promise you, doesn't mean that I'm going to listen to y'all. That's that agree to disagree shit. But I hear this enough that I would like my audience's feedback, right? About me, right? And somebody say, what'd you say? I don't check Beyonce. Well, no, I said that before, though. The same outfit that Lizzo has on stage, that is them leotards, that's the same color as her skin, and she be like in that bathing suit. It's like a bathing suit, right? A leotard and stuff. Beyonce wears that shit all the time. I've been said that. Beyonce's always in a fucking baby suit. That's the fuck she's ever in any of her videos. She's always in a fucking baby suit. And Lizzo's actually wearing the same exact type of outfit on stage when she performs most of the time in leotards and in this baby suit type of thing. Beyonce wears that shit all the time, but that's what I'm saying. Nobody catches that or has a problem with it because Beyonce's skinny. That's the whole point. Right? So whole damn point. She was the same shit as Beyonce. She just don't look the same. And then that's people's problem. They close your eyes, don't look, motherfucker. Anyway, you guys, so let me ask y'all this question. So I get this all of the time, right? I get this shit all the time. So people say to me that that when I argue with people, that it takes away from my message. If you've noticed that in the past week or so, and this is what I do, like I go in on people sometimes for a reason, and then I get back to the regularly scheduled program. I know how to do that. So I haven't been talking about anybody because there's been nothing to talk about. Ain't nobody fucking with me, and ain't nobody done shit that I feel that I need to, call out. And so I don't think that it takes away from my message. I really don't. I think that when people tell me that I shouldn't say stuff to people, it's the same thing as folks telling me that you shouldn't cuss. If you cuss, it takes away from your message. Like, that's who I am. I'm going to need y'all to not throw the baby out with the bathwater and take what you can. So let me tell you something, too. I don't consider it arguing. So I want to state this. I want everybody to know that I don't feel like I'm arguing with people. What I'm doing is calling people out. And what I mean by calling people out is that if I can sit here and I can express to you guys all of the things that happens to us in the white community, and what white America does to us and Hispanics and everybody else, and how conditioning works. Like, if there is a person, I want y'all to notice about me personally. I am very offended. It makes me mad. It does. I take that shit personal. When there are Black people out here that are constantly, when they're constantly using us to fill their pockets, and they're using our oppression to just try and get paid. They're not really coming with any solutions. They're playing all this media game. They put on this image. It's like people say, oh, well, you know what? You can really make a lot of money if you start talking about Black empowerment. You know, that's the thing to do. That's the thing to do. Like, you can make a lot of money in that field. Like, everybody, you can play on Black people's emotions. You can make you some t-shirts. You can do all of this shit. And the problem is that for fake motherfuckers like that, they make it hard for those of us that are really out here doing the work. People like Umar Johnson, when nigga, they done gave you 5 million, 1,000, trillion, $100 billion, and I'm lying, y'all ain't gave him that much. Right? Shout out to you, Engine 9. Thank you for that. Did you? Well, I don't know. I would have to go and look. You say you're trying to send me a shirt and music. What's good, though? What did you email it to me? My P.O. box is down at the bottom. Anybody want to know? I wear extra large. But my P.O. box is down at the bottom, if you would like to send me that. Somebody said, don't stop being you. But see, this is my thing, is that there are so many of us that are out here doing the real work that when you find those that are not really doing the work, it is offensive to me. And I want y'all to understand the traps of this too. Just like I tell you about the school to prison pipeline, just like I tell you about all of this other shit you need to understand in the media, how to look at things. I want y'all to spot a fake and a phony when you see one in your goddamn community. I'm sorry, when there are people running around here claiming, I love Black women, I love Black people, right? I love this, I love that, I'm doing all of these things in the community, and you're lying. You're lying and you're a fraud. I think that should be said. You don't get to walk around as a Black man saying you love Black women, and the truth is, behind the scenes, there's 50 fucking Black women that you done did dirty. I think that Black people should know that about you. I think that Black people should know that you up here talking about Black people running businesses and how you employ Black people, but you can't scream, I employ Black people, nigga, when you never pay nobody they fucking check. Now I got my check because I was the breadwinner. You got to pay Mechee. No matter what you do, pay Mechee. Come to find out you ain't paying everybody else, though. I'm not supposed to tell y'all that? A motherfucker who sit up all the time and be like, yo, if you got an issue with me, you can call me on the phone, and he tells you he wants unity with everybody, and he wants to make everybody out to be the issue. So I'm a problem if I show you my phone log and I show you my texts and I show you I've called this nigga, I've texted him 5 times, I put in calls to the nation, I've had 3 other people call him because I'm trying to find a resolution. So he's lying to you when he says that shit. Y'all just want me to let people do that? Shout out to you, Andre. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm just saying, is that what y'all would prefer? Is that what y'all want? Y'all want me not to say nothing? Like, I'm not saying nobody's name. If y'all know who they is, y'all know who they is. So, like, there's fake people out here that I know for a fact is lying to you because I know them in real life. And they're trying to play on your emotions. And they're telling you they went to jail for being an activist for you so that you can keep watching them. And they keep telling you they're doing all this shit for the community. But yet still, you don't do nothing in the community, nigga, because I know you in real life. You didn't go to jail for that. You're lying to the people. So y'all want me to not tell the truth on it. Y'all would just rather be lied to by people who claim that they're doing for your own good. That's what you want. Like, I'm supposed to let y'all seriously sit here. Y'all would have felt more comfortable had I just not said nothing about a brother trying to throw a conference and he need almost $250,000 to throw you a conference because I came out and said to you, I've thrown conferences, and people will say, well, you ain't thrown enough of them. Oh, trust me, we went through all kind of people. We looked at event planners, we looked at big buildings, little buildings, we looked at having tablecloth, we looked at all kind of shit. I know what the fuck it costs. And we cut that shit down to our cost. But when I say to you, you be mindful of people who can raise $250,000 to give you a motherfucking one-day conference and have some fun, but you don't come back with no solutions. But you can't raise $250,000 to fucking buy up some communities. You can't raise $250,000 to start a black school. You can't raise $250,000 to do nothing for the people. That's some real change. But you're going to raise it so that you can have a good time, put your speakers in cushy motherfucking hotels, and so that you can pay them well. Let me tell you something. People who do this work, if Dr. Shauna's still in here or anybody else that roll with my team, for those of us who do the real work, most of us never see $1 from doing the real work. If you do the real work and you about it, can you have shirts that you sell and people will buy your shirt? Yeah, you can make some dollars that way. But when it comes down to the real deal, like the tickets to get in, we're not trying to make $1 off of that. That makes us no better than these white people out here. Shout out to you, James. See, there's a difference between being an activist and being a business person. You can be both, but let me tell you something, it's a fine line, and the two don't mix. You don't get to play on black people's heartstrings. You don't get to act like you're going to do something for them and say, this is a movement, when it's really not a movement. It's just an event that's going to fucking make you some money. I'm not supposed to call that out, y'all. Like, that's what I really want to know. Like, I don't think that it takes away from my message. If you don't like that part, I feel like maybe people should listen to it. Shout out to you, Philip. Thank you for that. So I want y'all to tell me, because at the end of the day, I'm still doing what I want to do, because I don't call it arguing with people. I don't just pick people for no reason to say something about it. If I say something about you, it's because you are definitely doing some shit that needs to be addressed by the black community. What you're doing, you're not just doing to me. It's not an individual or personal thing. The reason I'm saying it is because the black community needs to know that you're full of shit and they need to know what they should be looking out for. Like, wouldn't I be fucked up if I knew some black people behind the scenes and they were lying to y'all all the time? They were doing dumb shit to y'all. They were playing y'all to get money out y'all pockets. And I knew that and I didn't tell y'all. What the fuck would that make me? Like, I can't do that, y'all. That's not who I am. So what I want to know from y'all, because y'all watch me, and I get it. I get people who say, I still love you, I watch you, but this is what I love from you, Mechee. Like, when you get to teaching, this is what we want to see. And when you get to argue with people, it takes away from your message. There's not one person that I have ever not said something about that I didn't have to set the record straight because they said something about me first, right? There is never a person on here that I did not say something about because I felt that what I was saying was necessary for us to analyze and see. They on some bullshit. I need y'all to see that, right? Or I wasn't telling y'all the truth so that y'all were not up here being swayed by some fucking, like your church people say, a sheep in wolf's clothing. But I prefer to be a wolf anyway, like fuck a sheep, right? But I want y'all to think about that. Shout out to you, Common Man. Thank you for that donation. Thank you. So y'all tell me, y'all think it take away from my message? Now, I want y'all to know that I love y'all, and there is no me without y'all in the Black Agenda movement and what we do. We do this together. I could not do this alone, right? James says, please use the profanity. You use it quite aptly. Thank you. Those hustlers need to be called out, okay? And so Rico says, smart sister like you, Mechee, black is beautiful. Well, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the comment. So my thing is that I respect y'all and I love y'all a lot. So I don't want to say that what y'all think does not matter in the sense that I'm not going to ever change who I am at the core, but criticism, constructive criticism, nothing is wrong with that. And if you are somewhere where people are looking at you, they are listening to you, whether you want to call yourself a leader or not, guess what? That's just what the fuck you are. And so you have to be accountable for that. Like, hypocrisy is something I really don't like. And so I never want to be a hypocrite. If I'm wrong, I don't have no problem saying I'm wrong. I believe any good leader in leadership, leading is always about showing by example. So if I'm wrong, and when we wrong, we should say so. I should be the first person to say I'm wrong. So I don't think that I'm wrong in this, but I really want to know from my audience, like, do y'all think that I should not call these people out? Should I just be quiet and not say nothing about Black people? Do I contribute to division? Is that what y'all think that it is? Do y'all want me to just teach and not say nothing about these Black folks when they're doing things that I feel is damaging to the Black community? And like I said, maybe y'all don't think that it is. That comes in where it's people's opinion. Eric, I don't care about being a target. You can't do this work without being a target. You can't be real. You can't call folks out. So, okay, everybody said call them out. Be you. A goddess said that's the Pisces way. Keep up the great work. I'm asking, yo, what y'all think matters to me? I just want y'all to know that. So this is why I'm asking y'all a question, because I get this a lot. And I believe that most of y'all, this is my belief, but I don't want to be ignorant of my belief. I believe that most of y'all that rock with me because of my genuineness. I believe that most of y'all rock with me because I'm just being who I am. If I ever call somebody out and I'm wrong, then I'm gonna have to eat that, right? If I ever support somebody and I find out that they full of shit, I'm gonna have to eat that. That's already happened to me. So I'm tested, tried, and true in this motherfucker. I was out here at one point like, whatever, Dr. Whoopty Wham, cool with me. See, I'm not even saying people's names because it's really not even about beefing with people. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I was out here defending that man. And when I said, if I found out he on some fuck shit, I would be the first one to tell y'all. And when I found out he was, I had to come back and eat my words. And I had to tell y'all that because I was wrong. But at the time, that's all I knew. I could only go on what I know. And so I believe that most of y'all rock with me because of that. Because I'm just being true to who I am. So I can tell you this. I would tell you that I did have a call from Golden Child, who I admire very much. If you guys, hey mama, I love you, mama. My mama in the house, y'all. Golden Child did tell me though when I went off on one person, a certain person. This ain't about talking about people, so I'm not even gonna say their name. This is more about me and analyzing what y'all think about the situation. But he did hit me up and he was like, you could have made your point without like initially going off on him the way you did. And I think he was right. I think that I didn't have to be like your big lip ass, shiny lip gloss wearing, punk ass, bobblehead looking bitch. I didn't have to talk to him like that. You're right. And so I would take that into consideration. I would take the fact that when I call somebody out, somebody said, who's Golden Child? If you don't know, y'all, please go find it. His name is Golden as in gold, right? And Child is spelled with a Y, not with an I. But y'all go check him out. His newest video just came out. He was with us on tour. But if you don't know, go find out. Because if you don't go find out now, you're going to know who he is sooner or later. He just did a really dope video with Brother RZA. You guys should go. Thank you. Shout out to you. Like I said, yes, love uncensored Mechee. Okay. So I would say with that, I do think that I didn't have to come at him initially. Now, no matter how I would have came at that dude, he was going to say some dumb shit back to me anyway, because that's all he ever does. So then once he went off on me, then I could have unleashed the beast on that motherfucker. But maybe from the beginning, he didn't do nothing to me personally, so maybe I should have addressed what I thought, yes, that Tariq was doing. Maybe I should have addressed it in my first video without necessarily talking about him in that manner and just sticking to what it was. Maybe it was hard for everybody to receive what I was saying about what he was doing without saying, oh, you just hating because of all the cuss words I put in there. And I was kind of going at the brother, but he pissed me off. He did it. He made me mad. I get tired of watching motherfuckers use our people. We got to get free together up in here, y'all. I'm not saying that we got to all stay lowly or not be able to live nothing in life, but what we definitely can't do for those of us that worry about our community and love our people, like we got to get somewhere together. I'm not cool if I'm sleeping on a silly Posturepedic in a $2 million home. I'm not cool with talking down on those of y'all that still live in the hood, that live in Section 8. If I'm not taking my money and building up the community and I done moved out of it to live around white people, like I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay as long as my life is plush that y'all have to deal with the shit that y'all deal with. I'm not okay with that. I don't forget where I came from. And so for me, that's just never been okay with me. I just don't think that that's right, especially when where you are, the people put you there. And when you talk down on all of them, because it's those donations, it's those people that put you where you are. And everybody that watches you, they're not in fucking $2 million homes. Most of them are in the hood. So you should show some respect and some love to the people who have placed you where you was, brother. And so that is offensive to me. It really is. You don't get to where you at because of everyone riding on our backs. That's no different than the white man, if you ask me. You roll black people's backs to get to where you are, and then you look down and talk down on us, and you hide behind a mask that says, I'm for black people, I'm pro-black, I'm about you. No, nigga, take that mask off, bitch, because I see you, and I need everybody else to see you for who you really are. So, I think that I had to ask that question, though, but I think the answer in here is no, Mechee, keep being you. So let me say with that, that was kind of what I was going to do anyway. I was waiting to see if anybody would give me a different perspective that maybe I had to consider, which nobody really did. Like I said, the only one I've considered is that when I call people out, maybe I need to not cuss them out right away first. Maybe I should just stick to what the issues are and not go so hard on them individually and attack the issues I have with them and not the individual. So that is the one piece of advice that I have taken from Golden Child, but I'm not going to stop calling people out. I don't care what color they are. I don't care who they are. And black people offend me way more than other people that do this shit to us. You know why? Because they black. Like, I expect non-black people to do some of this shit to us. I do. But when you black, you can hide amongst us. You can project yourself to be about us. You can hide behind your blackness, which to me is worse. Like, a chick don't like me, good. Like me from over there. I'm cool with the fact you don't like me, sis. But the chick that I really don't like is the one that don't like me. But bitch, you became my friend. And you started hanging around me. And then you started wanting to know all my business. You act like you gave a fuck and you was only here to be in my business. You got too close to me, chick. The bitch that don't fuck with me, that don't like me, I don't want to whoop her ass. This bitch that's all in my business that don't like me and you pretending to be my friend, that's the bitch I want to whoop their ass. Y'all get what I'm saying? So for those that are black, they get to hide behind their blackness. And so they mix in and you don't know who's genuine and who ain't. So they use their blackness as a weapon to play you. So yes, they piss me off more than anybody else. Shout out to you, Ramses. Ramsey said on the Black Agenda site, it still has the first tour schedule on it. When will the new one be available? It will actually be available, you guys, February 1st, the first week in February. Let me say that. The first week in February. We're actually working on the site now because we're removing it from where it is and we're having everything updated and all of that good shit because we have to set everything up so that my album can be put on there March the 3rd and everything. So first week of February, the site is actually being updated. We're having a whole new website created. Shout out to my management team, David and Marvin. I don't know if y'all in the house, but I got the dopest brothers behind me. So I have a management team now. So we are rebuilding the whole entire site over. It will come with all kind of great things like apps and stuff. So yeah, we're making some big moves, y'all. I don't always I know some people don't like to speak about stuff before it happens. Well, I don't mind speaking about it because y'all can see the process. If it's hard, I'm gonna just say it's hard. If it didn't work, it didn't work. If I failed, I'm gonna be like, I fucking failed, right? But we are working right now on moving everything over to our own platform, right? I'm tired of being on this platform and having people be able. Yes, we are having vendors. Yes, we do have vendors, and the tables are very reasonable. We just want you to come and make some damn money. We don't, so it's usually like the price to get in for a damn ticket. It's not any more than that because we want y'all to make some money, right? But we are working on moving the platform. So pretty soon here, you guys, bear with me because I'm not the one to do it, but I have a whole team that's working on it. You will be able to come over to my website and you'll be able to watch me live. You will also be able to subscribe to a free app that whenever I'm live, I can notify you. So we don't have all of this hating on YouTube to where they don't notify everybody all of the time, to where they can, everything do here, you can do over there. You'll be able to donate if you want to donate, except I don't have to give YouTube fucking 30% of it. I will be on my own platform, so nobody can censor my videos, nobody can take them down, nobody can report my page in this motherfucker, because it will be mine. Right? So everybody says, oh, I can't stand it for to say, oh, you so pro-black, but you on all these white folks platforms. Well, guess what? Consider Mechee the first motherfucker to get off of it because that's where we're headed. So pretty soon you will be able to be notified. Instead of the YouTube app, you can have the Mechee X app, right? And you can turn around and you can do your thing and you'll get a notification to tell you Mechee is live. And I guarantee you in my system, we will be notifying everybody. So they will come when all that gets set up here pretty soon. I will be having everybody begin to make the transfer over to the website, sign up for that, and get the app. So that way you guys don't have to worry about your notifications. We don't have to worry about being on these white folks' platform. We will be on our own platform. So Black folks is dope. And for those of us that stay here, if this stuff means enough to us, if we're really serious about having an audience and reaching our people and not being censored, we don't have to stay here. We don't. Have the capability. Shout out to you, Otika. Thank you for that. Thank you. Right. So there you can set up your own site. You can go live from your own site. You can have live streaming. You can do all of those things. Right. So we don't have to do that stuff over here. And anybody can get an app. So we're working on that. And Shout out to you for the hoodie love. I love this hoodie too. A sister made this for me, and let me tell you, this is my dopest hoodie because it's personalized. Y'all, she put my name on it. Hey, look at that on her bum, Mechee X, motherfucker. Anyway, this is my favorite hoodie. I love this hoodie. Shout out to the sister who made it for me. So so we getting ready to transfer all of those things over. So we got some big things in the works. Because what you're not gonna do is keep censoring me. Especially when I have the capability of being on my own platform. This ain't shit but some shit somebody with some computer knowledge put together. YouTube is nothing more than an electronic platform that is set up for you to be able to do all of these things. They're not gods, and what they do is not impossible. And at the end of the day, we can do the same goddamn thing. So that's what we getting ready to do. And for people who talk like that on YouTube and want to transfer over, guess what? If you don't think it's possible, Meechee about to do it and show you it's possible. Shout out to you, Half Wolf. Thank you for that. Thank you. So with this said, y'all, let's move on to the last topic tonight. Y'all do me a favor, right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. For right now, we're going to hang around on this platform. We're getting the fuck out of here, though. Real soon. Real soon. It's coming. I thank you, Pretty Nikki, and I will tell you that, yes, I believe that is, well, Pretty Nikki said, the growth you've had in less than a year proves you are being blessed by the ancestors. I agree, and this is why I don't worry too much, right? Oh, look, my screen over here trying to freeze. Shout out to you, Ms. Latisse. Thank you for that. Oh, thank you. And I love you back. Thank you for that. See, that's why I do this, right? Thank you for the donation. But you're right. And this is why I don't worry about a lot of things, because unlike other people who are trying to make this be the thing that they do, it's just who I am. It's just who I am. And I believe that there is something that I'm supposed to do. I walk in my purpose every single day. And you don't live in those type of things and not have the backing of the ancestors, right, in the universe. So I like to say all the time, I have an army that's with me. You can see. Shout out to the nation and my crew that whoop your ass in the physical. But there's also an army that's with me that y'all can't see. But trust me, if they need to show you that they real, they will show up. So I love it. And I feel blessed by the ancestors. I feel blessed by God and the universe, because there have been some hard times through all of this. And I shouldn't have made it this far with all of the obstacles I had in my way. If y'all don't remember last year, it was my first year going out on tour. We just took my money. I took my money out of my pocket, took my money out of my stocks. We started. I had somebody turn on me that had been my friend for 4 years. I lost my headliner. David Banner was like, can't do this. And I'm like, I can't keep paying you. We was done with that. So I lost him. We had to keep moving forward. We needed to know how we was going to find money. We almost didn't have enough money to make it to Brooklyn. And then the black folks, y'all showed up and y'all paid for Brooklyn and y'all got us there. And then I had to get rid of somebody who I thought was my ex-boon coon. They was in charge of everything, the website, the money, and they was just stealing money and playing me the whole damn time. Like, I've had a lot of obstacles in my way. Throwing a tour is just hard as fuck, period, especially when you've never done one. And to have all those obstacles and still make it, like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I know that I didn't do this shit on my own. If it wasn't for y'all and it was not for the ancestors, know that I would not have had as much success as I've had. I would say the only thing I give myself credit for is that I don't stop. I don't stop. No matter how difficult it looks, I keep going. I just get up and put one foot in front of the other, and I just keep going. That's the thing that I will give myself credit for. But I have to be honest. I don't know how some of these things work themselves out. All I know is that they do, right? And so I give all of that to the ancestors. I give it all to them. And I know that they backing me. So that's what's up. And y'all backing me too. So this is why I've come this far. So yes, shout out to the ancestors and shout out to all of you, right? So let's talk about these politics before I get out of here, you guys, really quickly, right? Do me a favor though, right? Hit that like button, share button, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. But let's talk about politics really quick before I go. So what do, you guys? We want reparations, right? We want all of these things from the government. And like I said before, we don't just want reparations. We want a lot. So let's not just focus on that. But let me tell you how tricky politics is. This prison reform thing is on the forefront. So when you look at this, don't be surprised if politicians grab the prison reform, okay, and they focus on that as being their issue. And because our heartstrings are being pulled on, because we want the prison to be taken care of, they're going to offer us that. This is what I'm thinking, right? They're going to offer you prison reform over reparations. Like, just don't focus on that. Let's focus on some prison reform. Don't y'all want prison reform? But it won't be real prison reform. Shout out to you, Area 51. shout out to you. Well, thank you for that. Much love to you back. And we're actually coming to Fort Worth. That's where we're going this year. We'll be in Fort Worth. But come on, make that drive. You come see us anyway. So understand that I think that they're going to put some focus on some of these things, which is how politics are played, because the truth is it's a distraction to try and focus on the other things that they don't want to speak on. But prison reform is needed. But let's be mindful, just like your reparations is bullshit, don't allow them to give us no half-ass bullshit either. Like, you can't tell us we're just going to close down 12 prisons. You said Dr. Shada did her thing on her live last night. She told the truth about Bloomberg. I heard, I had a couple people in Sydney today. He said that live was good as hell last night. I have to go watch it. I didn't get to see it, but I've heard from 4 or 5 people already. Dr. Shada went in, so Dr. Shada had to go watch it. If y'all ain't watched it, go over there and check. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna share it over here on this page so you guys can watch it too, right? I did. I heard she went in. I didn't get to see it. Look, now y'all got me with, just like that movie Fall from Grace. Now look, now I gotta go watch it. Everybody like she did. Okay, I'm gonna go watch it when I get off here, y'all. I got to go check out what she said. I love me some Dr. Shana. I'm sure if y'all saying that, it must have been good, because Dr. Shana is one of the few people that I watch. I do. I watch Dr. Shana. I listen to what she says, and there's very few people in life that can come to me and be like, "Yo, you know you was wrong," but Dr. Shana could be like, "Mechee, you was wrong as fuck." And I'll be like, "Really? Was I? What I did? I need to go apologize. Fine, damn it." So I love that woman a lot, and I respect her a lot. I don't watch a lot of people because I understand a lot myself. Not saying that I can't learn from people, but she's a person that I learn from her still. For as much as I know, I learn from her. So y'all go watch her too and go check her out, right? But don't let them focus too much on this prison reform to the point that we forget about everything else, because they're going to take this and try and run with this. The Democrats are going to be like, "Oh, we'll do prison reform." And they're not going to really reform prison. So let's be honest about that. Prison reform does not mean that you just, shut down some raggedy ass prisons and you give us some better prisons. Like, that's not what prison reform is. Prison reform is all about the way prisons are run. Prisons should not be privatized, period. Get them the fuck off the stock market and stop selling our people's bodies as commodities. You should not be using prisons, and people should not be able to be enslaved, like the Constitution says, as payment for your crime. As punishment for it. So that first and foremost needs to be dealt with from the bottom. And then if you understood that prisons should not be about enslaving people, and they shouldn't be private and on the stock market, then you need to talk about prisons becoming real places to rehabilitate people. We need to talk about sentencing guidelines. We need to talk about sentencing period being arbitrary. There's no fucking reason that a man didn't murder anybody should be spending 40 years in prison when they didn't murder anybody. They should have just fucking killed somebody. So understand, if you don't understand the depths of prison reform, don't let them make you think you see these horrific situations within the prison. So we want y'all to close the prisons down, and we want y'all to give them better prisons to be in. Trust me, it's not necessarily the prisons. You can have the best, most facility that there is with no roaches, no bugs, no mice. They can feed you food 3 times a day. There's good blankets in that motherfucker. There's a whole lot of other stuff that these people don't have. That does not mean that prison is right. One of the biggest problems that goes on in the prison is the guards. It is the psychological relationship between the guards and the inmates. You find that guards, go watch the Stanford Prison Experiment, you find that when guards are put in a position, human beings, to hold somebody captive like an animal in a cell all day long, have the ability to do whatever it is they want to do to them and nobody be able to say anything. You find that even the most decent person will eventually turn into the most violent person that there is. Just like Black people become police officers and say they want to do good, and before they know it, they become that Black police officer that's pulling brothers off his patting down their pockets, beating them up for no reason, and stealing their drug money. It didn't start off that way. It ended up that way, right? And this is the psychological thing of, like how Dr. Shana said, groupthink. You get into a prison where there's a whole bunch of people who are not doing right and they're mistreating people. You eventually start being narcissistic and overbearing and take that power and that control too. That's one of the biggest issues in the prison. That's one of the bigger issues, is the inmates being treated a certain way by the corrections officers. Shout out to you, Tiffany. Okay, Tiffany said Bernie has had his criminal justice reform out since his campaign began. He plans to close all private prisons, end cash bail, release all of those convicted of marijuana charges, and as well as legalize marijuana and so much more. So let me say this. I thought that we already was releasing people for marijuana. Why the fuck they still in there? Like, how long have y'all been hearing that? So first, that's the first thing that came to my mind when you said that. Like, how long have we been hearing people are being released for the marijuana crimes? We've been hearing that from, they should all be home by now. Yes? No? But this is something else I want to tell you. All that shit is surface. All that shit is surface. Let me tell you why. If you are giving people no cash bail, you're only giving people no cash bail who are people who don't have serious crimes. You're not giving an armed robber or somebody who was selling drugs and all that good stuff, and they got caught with pounds of like meth and coke and all that shit. You're not in crack and everything or whatever the fuck. Is it crackheads here today, y'all? Do people still make cracks? Somebody tell me. Does crack still exist? Do we still have crackheads, or do they smoke like bitches today? What is it, right? So understand that all of these drugs and crimes of that nature, those people, smaller crimes will get no cash bail. When you're talking about prison, you're not talking about that because that's considered county. When you're talking about prison, we're talking about people who have been found guilty, who have been served a sentence that is longer than a year or two, because most of the time you will spend that in county. So you're going off to a prison facility. Understand you have the city jail. City jail is different from the county jail, and the county jail is so much more different than prison. The county is where, city is where they hold you before they decide if you're going to go home, if you're going to make your bail, or they sending you over to the county. The county is your holding place while you're going through trial or you're figuring out your situation. Once you are found guilty or not guilty, then you move on to wherever you're supposed to be. Either you go home or you serve your time there, depending on the amount of it, or you go off to prison. So prison reform, trust me, prison is much different than county. So for him to be talking about bail, that can't be prison reform because there is no bail in prison. Right? I want y'all to think about that. There is no bail in prison. And see, this is why you have to understand the words of what people are saying when they're politicians, and understand what they're really saying out their mouth, if it even makes sense, and understanding if they even have the ability or the power to do what it is that they're saying they're going to do. So understand that bail stuff has nothing to do with prison reform because that's not prison. If you're in prison, there is no fucking bail. It ain't shit but commissary. Put the money on their books. Okay, so let's get that clear first of all. Next thing is that surface shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That is surface shit. Because none of that stuff is going to fix what goes on in the prisons. So if he says that he's going to get all of the prisons from being privatized, first of all, I want y'all to know that's going to be a hell of a fight. Most of y'all that have 401ks at your job, they already invest in privatized prisons. Thank you. See, Penny said that. Penny said bail is a part of the pretrial process before conviction. So that's before you go, before you've been found guilty, you given all your sentences, you got to go to jail. That's when that comes in. So when we're talking about prisons, like when you're looking at Parchment Prison, those are people in there who are already serving their time. There is no bail option for them. So we need to understand the depths of how it goes, but understand all the money that's made off the privatized prisons, that's going to be a really hard fight. You're going to have a whole lot of people in the economy fighting you. A lot of you right now don't know that your 401k is actually receiving money right now. If you're invested in privatized prisons and you don't even know it. Right? So it's a big deal. You know how many companies receive products from privatized prisons that are being produced every single day inside of the prisons by these inmates not getting paid. So that's a big thing. And for Bernie to make that as a promise, I want you to know Bernie probably can't make that promise. He can't keep that promise. That's one of the things he probably can't do. But we should in privatized prisons. We definitely should. But let me tell you something else. Before privatized prisons came along, we still had problems in the prison, which I'm going to bring you back to the root of it. Before we had privatized prisons, we had the state that had prisons, but how many documentaries have you seen? How many prisons have you heard of that even before privatized prisons came along? How many of y'all heard about all of these prisons that had horrific shit going on inside of them? Like the guards pitting gang members against each other, putting Crips and Bloods on the same yard, and then standing up in the post, waiting for them to fight, and then shooting bullets at them to tell them, and then they would deliberately shoot them for fighting, sometimes kill them. Guards putting you on the yard with people that are your known enemies, so that you can be killed even though you don't have a life sentence and you should go home in a couple years. Like Rikers Island's always been crazy as fuck. There's been prisons that they have closed down, but all of these prisons have issues, and all of the issues come back to fuck a privatized. Before there was privatized prisons, there was state-funded facilities that were doing shit to people that they weren't supposed to do. They were abusing people. My brother wasn't in a private prison, and they put him on 24-hour lockdown and was starving my brother. He couldn't leave his cell. He couldn't get commissary unless they gave it to him, so they wasn't giving him shit, and then they wasn't bringing him his food. When we viewed my brother's body on that slab in the funeral home, I could see his rib cage. They had starved my brother. I could see his rib cage. And that had nothing to do with a privatized prison. So what I want y'all to understand is that the real prison reform comes with the environment. First of all, you cannot have a prison environment where you have other regular ass human beings, just like with police officers, completely in control of somebody else's life. Where if I don't feed you, you don't eat, motherfucker. If I don't let you have your shower, you don't get a shower. If I don't let you make a phone call, you don't get a phone call. If I decide not to turn the light off in your cell, I cannot turn the light off in your cell. If I don't want to feed you, I don't have to feed you. If I want to treat you like an inhumane animal, I can do that. If you need to see the doctor, I can let you sit in your cell in pain and not have to do nothing for you. Before privatized prisons, there were cases that were coming up in women's facilities all day long where there were women who were impregnated and were getting pregnant that had been in prison for years. How the fuck you get pregnant? You ain't just get here less than 9 months ago. And they were pregnant by guards who were raping them. Now, some were willingly having sex, but let me tell you this. A corrections officer to have sex with the inmate is a federal fucking offense. That is a felony. You go to jail for that. It is against the law. But some of those women were actually being raped. But let's say we dispute that. All of them were forced to have abortions by the fucking warden. Go look the story up. So see, these things have been going on in prisons for a long time. And what it is psychologically is the dynamic with allowing regular human beings to be in charge over people in such inhumane environments. Prisons should not be cells and bars indoors like that. Go look at some other countries who have prisons, and their prisons are more set up like dormitory, not to say that people could just walk out. There aren't guards. They're like, yes, it's safe. And of course, you don't have somebody serving life, or that's a serial killer or a serial rapist, or somebody that is serving ridiculous time for a ridiculous crime that they should be in there for. I'm not talking about those type of things, but they actually believe in preparing their criminals when they leave prison to go back into society as productive citizens. And a lot of them do. And their recidivism rate is not that high, meaning people don't turn around and come back to prison. So what I want you to understand is that if this government is going to talk to us about prison reform, they have to start with this right here, right? That they want to create criminals. They need to admit that, just like they're not going to give you reparations without admitting that they owe it to us and everything they've done to Black people. So let me tell you, do you think they're going to admit the real issue in prison? The real issue with prison is that they want to keep them filled with criminals. They also want people to come out and be worse criminals. That is the reason why they're trying all of our children as adults, because they get them when they're the most vulnerable. They send them into the prison. They want most people, and this is a fact, people go into prison, and if you send them to prison early enough, soon enough, depending on their crimes, they actually come out being a better criminal than they went in. Because maybe you was just stealing cars and selling drugs. By the time you get out of prison, you have learned how to watch your back so that you don't get shanked. Or maybe you've had to shank a person, right? You've had to fight for your sanity. You've had to fight for your life. You have seen death around the corner everywhere you go. I told you there was times my son would call me, and my son is not on death row. He's not serving a life sentence. He did not kill anybody. And he would be like, Mom, I'm on this maximum security prison, and he ain't done shit. They just sent him over there because they just pass him around body to body, place to place, so they can receive money. He like, I can't call you back later because we all gonna be on lockdown because somebody dying tonight. So my son is still in his teens, wasn't 20 yet, and somebody is being murdered down the hallway. Oh, but it's a legal murder, so it's okay. Only we're not allowed to murder people if I'm mad enough at you. But if you break the law, we can murder you. I don't know what fucking sense that makes. Because if you feel a reasonable reason why you can murder me, well, maybe you did something to my child or my family, and maybe I think that's reasonable to murder you, but then you're going to put me in prison for it? Fuck out of here. So understand that the dynamics in these prisons is the fact that this country wants to continue to create criminals. Criminals create jobs. Criminals also create the element. Most people that are in prison due to crimes of poverty. We went over this before. So when they learn to become better criminals and all they was doing was snatching purses, and then you put them in prison and they done been through all of that, you let them out, you put them back in the community where there are liquor stores on every corner. They don't have any money. They can't get a job. They can't do anything. You know that there's a law that says you can't even get financial aid if you have a drug charge. You know, most brothers and sisters sell drugs because of their financial situation. Yes. I mean, I don't know anybody who sells drugs just because they like to sell drugs. So if I get out of prison and I have a drug charge and I want to go to college, I can't get financial aid. But wait a minute, I could rape a motherfucker and do my time and get out and I could get financial aid. I want y'all to think about that. Like, that law is based to keep Black people down. So if you were selling drugs and now you got a felony, so it's hard for you to get a fucking job, but you want to excel your education so you can get a better job, we're going to tell you no, because drug crimes are from poverty. So why the fuck would you want people to get an education? Because you want to keep crime going. You want to keep ghettos. I told y'all ghettos are created. And part of that ghetto is releasing even worse criminals back into a poverty-stricken community with liquor stores on every corner, all of the drugs that are out there, so that you can just commit more crime and bring your ass back. But you can also keep chaos and havoc going in the ghetto, because that is a key ingredient to the ghetto, and the government likes to create the ghetto. Them motherfuckers is created. Ghettos are created. So see, if you get to the root of the real issue, Bernie talking surface. None of that is prison reform. None of that is prison reform. Real prison reform would stop so much crime. We wouldn't have as many criminals. We wouldn't need as many fucking corrupt police. We wouldn't need as many prisons. We wouldn't need as many corrections officers. There would be a lot of jobs that would drop in this economy if you really help criminals become productive citizens. It would take a lot of money out of the pocket of the country. So therefore, crime pays. You know that fucking line they used to give you, crime doesn't pay. Oh no, crime pays. Not for your black ass that's created it, but crime pays for this government and this economy to keep it moving. Yes, the fuck it does. So if we're gonna talk about prison reform, you gotta talk to me about the real issue that this country keeps creating more criminals, better criminals, worse criminals, that their facilities are created, and there's a social environment within the prison that causes you to be a worse person, causes you to lose your mind, causes you to come out with all kind of ailments and shit. There's brothers in Parchment Prison right now, plenty other prisons. Guess what? They drinking water like Flint. And they got to drink it. By the time they come home, they're going to be all fucked up in the head. And guess what? They shouldn't have had to pay that price, because that's not what their crime was. So understand, if they're going to talk to you about prison reform, make them talk to us about the real issues of prison reform. Turn prisons into places that really rehabilitate people and make them become better and productive citizens when they come out to society. Give them a chance in life. Because as I've said before, it is a proven fact that majority of crimes are poverty-based crimes. They come from people being poor. That is the root of why the crimes are committed. Okay? So when they want to talk about that, then we can talk about some prison reform and the way you set up your facility instead of throwing people in cages. But let's talk about something else, right? Not just the prison reform. So understand that they're probably going to use that and push that really hard. And they're going to give you some surface ass shit, and you're going to be like, yay, you know. And I want to say Bernie saying that bullshit about marijuana charges. Like, didn't Trump say that? Like, everybody's been saying that. I thought Obama, everybody has said all these people with marijuana charges are going home. So they're still in the prisons. Are we still making this promise? How many politicians have we heard say this shit? And we're still talking about this, which means nobody's ever completely done. Because if they was, we still wouldn't be talking about marijuana charges. Everybody would be home, right? Shout out to you, Common Man. Thank you for that. You just showing out up in here tonight. Thank you. Look, I appreciate that donation. So let's talk about something else, though. Let's talk about strategy, right? So I have a friend named Sydney, and me and him argue all the time. So here we go with that agree to disagree. Me and him argue because he has a different perspective, and I'm like, well, that kind of don't make no sense to me either. So we just supposed to do this versus doing that. Ain't that the same motherfucking thing? And I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm talking about. So I've heard him and other Black people say this as well. So what do y'all think about this, right? He says that we are probably not going to get anything in this election. We're not going to receive reparations, if that's what we're serious about. That's not going to happen. And they probably going to give us some surface shit, but they're not going to give us no real shit. Like, I just don't see that happening. We have to make a move to show them we ain't playing, and then buy us some time so by the next election, they know we're not playing with them, right? So he says that we have given Democrats their vote. Now, Sydney, you in the chat, if I'm wrong, please correct me if I say something wrong. He said that we've been giving Democrats, and this is true, we've been giving them our vote just blindly. And this is true, for all of these years. So he says, and I says, well, then that's why you don't give them the vote unless they give you something. And Sydney says, no. What you do is all Black people vote Republican. I said, but why you want to do that, Sydney? He said, because if you do that, you show them we're not fucking giving you the vote. Matter of fact, we're going to give the other person the vote if you want to play that game. And then he says to me, what difference does it make, which is kind of true, that if Trump is in the White House or Republican in there, what is going to be fucked up for the rest of us, right? Right? And see, still, somebody said don't vote down ballot. We're going to talk about that too. So these are just things that I'm throwing out here to y'all. And I want y'all to think about this, right? Because we do a lot of talking about we're not going to vote or we want you to give us something for us. But what is our strategy to really force people to give us some stuff, right? So I'm just throwing these things out here. These are the conversations in politics. I'm not telling you this is the way that I believe. I'm telling you this is somebody said. So, okay, everybody said vote down ballot. So I say to him, but isn't that the same thing as if we just don't vote? Like, if we don't vote, the Republicans are probably going to get that shit anyway. Yes, and Penny says Democrats and Republicans are the same. They are. Really, none of them care for us, right? But his thing is, if you completely go to the other side, that shows the Democrats that you're not playing. This is what he tells me, right? And the Democrats is going to say, oh, shit. So then when it comes around to the next term of trying to find a candidate, they're going to realize that if the Democrats don't bring us something, you got to bring us something to win our vote back. Shout out to you, Queen B. Thank you for that. So there are those that say, if you do that, because if we don't, and then others say, don't vote it out, right? Now, you know, if you don't vote it out, then it's probably going to be a Republican in the White House any goddamn way. This is what I'm saying, right? If you don't vote, that's probably what's going to happen. Yes, they are all crooked. They're all crooked. But if you understand politics, that's the thing. What is our strategy then to make them give us what we want? Is just not voting the way to go, you guys? Ramsey said, thank you for the donation, brother. Ramsey says a lot of Black people are saying they're going to vote for Trump just despite the Democrats. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of Black people out here who are saying that. But my question is, if you voted for a Republican, what kind of message does that send, right? Does it send a different message than if we just don't vote at all? Because if you don't vote at all, it's probably, I'm sure that the Republicans are going to end up in the House anyway. So no matter what you do, if you vote for Republican all the way, Democrat ain't gonna make it. If we don't vote at all, the Republicans are gonna make it too, and the Democrats ain't gonna make it. But do we send a different message? No. So, but we're gonna get there too. I'm not even talking about. Look, you said that you be voting on certain things in your community. That's cool. I'm not talking about those things just yet. I'm just talking about the candidate. Now, when I say vote for the person, you do know that you can go and you can vote on ballots and things that have been put out there, right? And things that will be in your community. I'm not talking about just automatically do that Republican. That's not what Sydney is saying. And other Black people are saying what they're saying as far as for the president, right? So Sydney says, I got to read Sydney comment because he gave a donation, but this is the conversation me and Sydney been having. So let's see what Sydney got to say. Sydney said, down ballot Dems are screwing us over. If Democrats win in 2020, there will be no 2024 for Black voters. The illegal aliens will have voters registration to replace Blacks. So what do y'all think about that? Now, all of these immigrants are moving in here. So now the Democrats at a 98% percentile, somewhere in the 90%. Don't quote me on that. Don't be coming. You know what you're talking about, Nick. Somewhere high as fuck. We just automatically have been voting for the Democrats, right? So if they bring all of these Hispanics in here, which, you know, that's part of their party, you know, that they're Democrats now, because Democrats is the one pushing all this immigration stuff and LGBT, everything else. That's the Democratic Party, right? So if they end up replacing our vote with all of the immigrants that come in here and they're helping that position, if they fight for that vote and get them all in here, now they're happy because they are part of this country. Now we give the vote. Are they going to replace our vote with them and they say we don't need you any damn way? So do you play yourself if you go all the way over there and you vote for the Republicans just so they're not in the House? Do they just say fuck you and then learn how to get along without you? And then the Republicans ain't doing shit for you, so then you unfucked yourself and now you stuck in the middle. Like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Because I've heard a lot of Black people say, let's just vote Republican. Now, I know some people say that's dumb as fuck, but let me say something that Penny just said earlier. And she said it's all a farce, right? But this is the thing. Democrats are not for us, neither are Republicans. Like, it's all the same thing. So we've been voting blindly for Democrats. So my question is, if you were voting for Republicans, do you think it would make any fucking difference? It's the same thing. We blindly vote for the Democratic Party, but at the end of the day, none of those parties are doing anything for us. So this is the thing. How do we get them to find our vote valuable or act like they care enough for them to really want to give us something? I haven't heard any politicians come to the forefront and act like they give a fuck about any Black people demands right now. None of them want to speak about reparations. None of them want to speak about police brutality. None of them want to speak about any of those things. Nobody wants to speak about Flint. Nobody wants to speak about the travesties that happen to us. People talk about prison reform. Let me tell you something. Prison reform is a safe place to be. We've talked about prison reform for forever. That's always something that people can say. Would you say you so confused? I'm confused too. Look. No, but this is the thing, is that it's so many of us that are on different pages. We gotta like get all on the same damn page. So what page do we get on? Now, this is not Mechee telling you what to do. This is me throwing out there the conversations that I've heard, right? We're in 2020. So we here, right? Right, prison reform isn't happening. Nothing that we really need happens. And even when they give it to us, it's like a illusion and shit. You be like, oh shit, they gave us something. I mean, you just, in the desert, it's kind of far away, and you get up to that bitch and it disappears. Wait a minute. I thought they let us have this. You lying bitches. You say, damned if we do, damned if we don't. So my question would be, how do you handle that? And I will tell you one thing I will tell you that is my opinion in this. Whether you want to vote, if you don't vote, right? And let me tell you something too. I want y'all to understand that the right to vote is just that, it's a right. So you don't have to exercise. But if you don't say anything, then your voice is not counted. So let me say this. Even if some of us do not vote and we say fuck voting for any politician, there are things that will be on the ballot that you should vote for. So I don't want people to think, you said where Dr. Shauna at. Shut up. Would you need somebody come in here and back you up, Sid? Sydney, she left now. No, I don't know. She might still be here. Dr. Shauna, you here? Look. So this is my thing, though. There is going to be stuff that you need to vote on that is not about a person, right? Okay, so everybody's saying then vote down ballot, right? But people say they have a problem with that too. There's so many Black people that are so upset with the Democrats that they don't want to fuck with them in any kind of way. Can you blame Black people for that? And if you don't vote at all, then what happens to now? I'm one of them people that sometimes I live life and I be like, fuck that shit. I ain't voting. I didn't vote when it was Hillary Clinton or Trump. I didn't vote. Nobody. I didn't. I stayed my ass out. But there are things you need to vote for, right? There's going to be things on the ballot that are going to have to do with like policies. And one thing we said the Black agenda all the time is vote, for policies, not politicians. So look at the policies that are being looked forward and what it is that people are bringing. So you definitely need to vote on the policies and the things that are going on in your community, right? Brenda said she writing her name in, right? I'm gonna write in Mechee X. I'm supposed to write in ADOS. That's what you're supposed to write in. So understand, you could vote down ballot. Some people say that they don't think that they should do that. Some people say don't vote at all. Just vote for the the policies and the things that are going on in your community, stuff like that, stuff that will affect you, that are policies and the laws, right? Because those things do affect you. And I know that Black people, we have been so used to being in such a devastated state that we think that it can't get any worse. But I want you to know that's not true, because a lot of times right underneath our nose, the stuff that goes on locally in our communities or the policies and things that are voted on, those things do make things worse for us sometimes, and we don't even realize it until it happens. So I do agree with that when it comes to like policies and stuff, you need to be concerned with that stuff. Your district attorney is voted in, whether it's zoning, whether it's regulations for schools, or whether where money is going to be spent. Right, Ramsey, like property taxes, school taxes, gas taxes. Like, don't go to the gas station and be like, damn, gas high as hell. They might have been voting on that shit and you wasn't there to do it. So those things you do definitely need to pay attention to, right? So I will say that it is important to know when to vote and how to vote, right? In those situations. Yvette said something that I thought that I really liked from somebody who is looks at things from a psychological manner, right? And how we process things in our mind. And what she said is that, even if you're not going to vote for any politician, Republican or Democrat, you're not going to do that. She said you should still go, and I agree with that, and you should still vote on the policies and the things that are at the bottom of everything, at the bottom of the ballot, right? Even if you don't vote for a candidate either way, you write in ADOS or something. But what she said is that it keeps you right? In the mode of voting and you exercising that. And I agree with her in that. Because if you get too comfortable sitting at home and you're like, I don't go out and vote, fuck voting, you're not gonna go stand in no long ass line to do that shit. When we do make some leeway and we need you to go out and cast your vote, you may not be prepared to do so. You see what I'm saying? A lot of black people be like, fuck that shit. A lot of us don't go to the polls. A lot of us don't vote. So we won't go at all. So understand that I do believe in what she said, that if you go and you go for those reasons, if you don't want to vote down ballot, vote down ballot. If you don't want to vote down ballot, and you don't want to do that, then guess what? Write in ADOS, she said. And then she said, when you get down there, vote on the policies though. But what it does is it keeps you in the momentum of, okay, I'm not voting on this shit because they not giving me a decent candidate. Because y'all know I say in a minute, like, you don't get to give me a plate of shit and a cup of piss and say which one you want. I don't want neither one of them. I'm not taking neither one of them. Fuck you. Neither one. Like, you don't give me two shitty ass options, right? And then tell me that I have to choose between one of them. No, I don't. There ain't no ballot measures in the primaries. Skip the primaries, vote in the general, and don't screw up your ballot by writing ADOS. No, because you just want everybody to vote Republican. But at the end of the day, my question would be to you then, like, just go on the other side and voting Republican, right? Then my question would be to you, what's the difference of us just voting? How is that any different from just voting our Democrat when you know that neither one of these parties don't do anything for you? It seems like for black folks that want us to just vote Republican is just to spite the Democrats. But isn't the goal here not to spite people, but more so to get a motherfucker to give us what we need? Because neither one of them do anything for us. And this is what I mean by voting on policies. Let me give you some example of what I mean. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I'm not Republican, but Donald Trump has done some shit that I don't disagree with. So I'm not mad about his laws and his policies and how he deals with immigration and stuff. Like, okay, so when you look at policies or what people are doing, at the end of the day, you need to not throw every single thing away. Vote on fucking something. See, it said we ain't getting shit in 2020, but see, we ain't been getting shit ever since we've been here. So that's the question though tonight. So then what is our strategy? We say we want stuff. How do we make them give us what we want? You supposed to vote our Democrat again, just because? Are you supposed to vote down ballot? Are you supposed to write something in? Just vote on the policies? Should we just vote Republican to tell Democrats to kiss our ass? And then in the next election say, now, if you want our vote back, give us something? But will we have tied our hands and fucked ourselves if they replace our vote with all of the immigrants that are coming in here and people that are being given citizenship? Will they turn around then and replace us with that? And the Democrats say, well, we don't need you back. If we take that approach, do we just make ourselves a class of people who everybody else is voting and whatever? That's how we've always been, though. So we have to be careful in the way that we do that, right? Bella said it does not matter. Well, it depends. I disagree with that to some extent. It depends on what you're voting for and what we're voting about. To say that voting doesn't matter, it does. It depends on what you're voting on. So many people here said that they voting down ballot. Okay, so we got folks that they voting down ballot. That's what I'm saying, that I hear us as Black people, we have so many strategies of what we're doing. We do know that we all have to get on the same board for the same strategy in order for this to work. That's the bigger realization here. Do we understand that? That we have to all be on the same boat for this to work? Okay, somebody said the Democrats will see the switch. Democrats will hurt us with more gay policies. Okay, so Democrats will do those things. My question to you is, what will the Republicans do for us? So then our question is our goal to get anything this year? Let's ask that. This part says she voting down ballot ADOS. Okay. Republican is not the other side. Exclamation mark, stop brainwashing crap. I don't know what that means. I'm not brainwashing anybody. I'm just asking you guys. Brainwashing anybody? You feel brainwashed? Sydney said, "Where's Dr. Shana?" See, now I gotta go watch the Dr. Shana video because apparently he agreed with whatever her strategy is. I didn't see her video, so I'm gonna go over there and look at what he's talking about her strategy is. But I guess what I'm really trying to pull out of this conversation, you guys, before I get out of here this evening, is that what is our strategy? I hear so many different strategies, right? And we have to all come on one accord when it comes to what we're going to do to fight for what we need in this country. So first of all, what are we fighting for, right? Miss Lady, thank you for that. Show up at the polls, write in ADOS, your own name or Black Agenda. If you don't like any candidate, they need to know who we are. Well, I mean, to some extent, I don't know, y'all think about that. Do you think that your voice being heard is better than you staying at home? Because you know plenty of Black people stay home. Let me tell you this too. They work very hard to, stop your vote. You know how many people can't vote because of felons and things of that nature. So they really don't want your vote. So I get what you're saying. If you don't show up, you can't vote on any of the policies. Do the policies matter to y'all? So voting does matter, but we need to know when it matters, right? Show up, yes, right. I think that we do have to take a stance in saying that we need to get in politics more than we've ever been. This is the thing that I want to say about our people is that I think that we have, well, it's not a matter of think, it's a fact. We've been used a long time in politics, and this is why we have predominantly, Democrat all the way around. Even if we don't know. Even if we don't know what the person's doing, we'll just go Democrat, blue all the way down the damn line, right? We don't pay attention to none of that stuff. That's just the truth for a lot of us if we go out and vote sometimes. Shout out to you, Bella. Politics isn't going to change anything for us. We're going to have to fight, burn down some shit, and kill a lot of white folks. Bella, that's my girl. She watched me too. She know, look, they don't want my strategy, Bella. They say we got to vote or something. They said we got to do something about voting. We're not allowed to talk like that. I'm down with Bella. That's my plan. I don't know what the fuck y'all plan is. That's me and Bella plan. Who coming with us? Okay, so I agree with Bella, but we ain't there yet. We're not there yet. I just want people to start thinking though. We are in 2020, and we have to figure out what are we doing. Right? We have to figure out what we're doing. None of these parties have done anything, but I will tell you this, that we cannot say politics has never worked for us, so we should say fuck it. I want y'all to know this. So let me end with this. That whatever we decide to do, we need to decide to do something, but we need to understand this, that politics runs everything in our life. Politics has everything to do with the schools your children go to, the funding that goes into those schools, has everything to do with the potholes in your neighborhood that get cleaned up or don't get cleaned up. It has everything to do with the district attorney in your community who maybe talk about get tough on crime, and then you wonder why they're locking up all your children and trying them as an adult. Well, there was a time for your ass to vote for that district attorney. So you weren't there to vote for the district attorney. So now you're upset when dollars don't go into your children's schools, when minimum wage or money doesn't go up for the cost of living. It's everything. Everything comes down to politics. Even the liquor stores. You do know that the liquor stores in your community, and there's one on every corner, is there because of politics. Liquor licenses and what's allowed to be there. Politics comes down to it. White people in suburbs don't have liquor stores and strip clubs in their community because they vote against that shit. Politics, y'all. Shout out to you, Sid. He said, don't co-sign that other bullshit. See, me and Sid be arguing. I love Sid. See, y'all say y'all can't agree to disagree with me. Who said I was co-signing any damn thing? Did anybody hear me co-sign anything here? I'm giving you all the perspectives of what people said. And it's not a matter of co-signing. What I am going to say, which is my perspective, is that if there are policies, and Black Agenda has been saying, is if you come to any Black Agenda event, what we have mentioned to you out of politics is that you need to vote on policies, not people. Like, fuck a motherfucking person over here making all of these things. But when it comes to the policies in your community and what's going on around you, you should definitely be paying attention to those. That's what I've always said. I ain't co-signing nobody else shit. That's what I'm standing in. That's what Mechee has always said, right? You have to understand how politics works. You have to get into politics when it works, and when it don't make a bit of a difference, sometimes it doesn't. You have to understand that, but understand everything. For us to say, all I want to say is for us to say that we should not be involved in politics at all, I don't give a fuck if you want to start your own party, but if you understand, politics, I don't know if that even would be the way to go, or if we could even do it, right? When you look at the population of what we are. In order to do that in politics, you got to kumbaya and include a whole lot of other people. You can't just have a political party that sees to one race of people. That's not really going to ever take off. You got to see to a group of people that are dealing with some of the same issues and need some of the same things, whether it be addressing, poverty. But then poverty is not just Black people. So then you're going to have to address other people's issues. So as far as that, I don't even think that could be something that would work as of right now, right? But politics runs everything that we do in our life. So I do think that Black people, we need to definitely take a look at politics. We need to be more involved. I mean, up until this point to say, fuck politics or not be involved in them, I think that's ridiculousness because for the longest, we've done nothing but voted Democrat down the board. All the way across, we give them our vote no matter who they are. Like I said, we will go in there and it's the Democratic Party. We vote for them. We vote blue all the way down. Half the time, you don't even know who the fuck you're voting for. All of those other people, you just put Democrats in there because they're a Democrat. So this has been our method for the longest. This is a proven fucking fact. This has been our method to our madness. Just vote Democrat. So what I'm telling you is we don't go from that to saying fuck politics. What we go from that to is saying maybe we should understand how politics works. Maybe we should hold our vote a little bit more serious. And maybe we should be strategic in the way that we use it and what we do to get to where we need to be. Because we can't just completely remove ourselves from politics and say fuck them, because politics runs everything in your life. Everything. Laws, sentences, bail, whether people could get out on bail. The fact that the police department is the disciplinary for your school department now. That's politics. Whether they're putting money in to fix up your community or they're putting it in the community outside, all of that is politics. Your life is determined by politics every single day. When you get up and go to work and you stop at the gas station, like Ramsey was saying earlier, and you put gas in your car, the price of that gas. Politics. So we can't afford to not be involved in politics. That's the one thing I will stand firm in saying, that we can't just completely remove ourselves and say we're not going to do shit in it. I think we don't need to go from just always voting for Democrats to let's not do nothing. I think that we need to take our stance in politics a little bit more seriously. I think that we need to understand how it works. I think we need to step up in that vein and we need to learn how politics works. A lot of us don't. And so I think we need to step up in that vein and understand that politics is power. It's also money, and it is the life that we live every day. And everybody else is in politics. We got immigrants that are more involved in being heard in politics, and you're not even fucking citizens of this country. Come on, y'all. We Black people, and it's been built on our backs. This is the whole thing, is that at some point we have to get our foot in the game. And that's the thing here. We have to find a way for them to listen to us, for our vote to count, for us to use it in the right manner. And that's really what this is being questioned here. How do we do that? We have so much division, right? People want to say, okay, well, let's follow the ADOS. Let's say what Yvette says. Let's do the down ballot, But I also heard her say, if you don't want to do down ballot, she said, write some names in. She said, vote on the policies then. So she's giving you several things to do. Then there are people that say, just vote Republican, to despite the Democrats, once they turn around and see that we said, fuck them, they're going to really give us something to get our vote back. They might not. Okay, so Sydney said, y'all think Dems will act for us without beating them into submission first. Now, I told y'all that this logic that Sydney argues with me all the time. So really what Sydney is saying is that we should beat Democrats into submission by giving up our vote and not voting for them recklessly and just giving it to the Republicans. So this is what Sydney thinks. Thank you. Be rich. Thank you for that. Right? So this is what he's saying. But he's saying it don't matter who in the White House. Do we agree on that? Yes or no, y'all? Whether it's Democrats or Republicans in the House, do you think that at this point, what we've seen so far, that it will matter which one is in the House, that anything good will happen for us for either party? Do y'all think that there is a party right now that will do something for us? Yes or no? Somebody said, why y'all fear to leave the Democrats is beyond me. Right. Okay. So there's no politician. I agree that ain't doing nothing for us right now. So does it? We were voting for Democrats while they were fucking us. So if we all voted for the Republicans to teach them a lesson, would it fuck us anymore? Now I'm just playing devil advocate because this is what Sydney wants to know. This is what he's saying we should do. So if we voted for the Republicans across the board just to teach the Democrats a lesson, would it put us in any worse situation? Yeah, it is all the game. So that's what I'm saying. These are just people's different strategies. Okay, so no, it wouldn't put us in a worse situation. A lot of people are saying no, they just don't want to vote for the Republicans. Why the fuck y'all want to vote for the Democrats then, right? Thank you, Miss Lady. Miss Lady says we don't collectively have the money to buy politicians. Not sustainable. So we have to engage in other ways. Show up. So this is the thing, you guys. We have to find a way to get our foot in the door, and we just have to understand that not participating in politics is not the way. And I don't think somebody said earlier that we just scared to leave the Democrats alone. I don't think that some people may be. I don't believe that we're necessarily scared to leave the Democrats alone. What I'm saying is that what good does it do us? A lot of people are saying, when even what Sydney is saying, when Black folks hear that, I think what we're saying off the top of our head, and folks is like, well, what the fuck are the Republicans gonna do for us? Because they ain't never really done shit for us either. So I think it's fair to say that both parties have fucked us, in the long run. And both parties have given us little things here and there, right? Like I said, I'm not mad at Trump's policies and his shit and the way that he comes across with immigrants, but that wasn't necessarily something he put in place for us. Well, I don't want these immigrants here because it's ruining shit for Black people. Like, he didn't say that, so it really wasn't for us, right? But I think both parties have fucked us, and both parties have done things sometimes that we'd be like, okay, we agree with that. At this point, GOP will do more than Dems. Okay, so Sydney's stuck on that, and it's a lot of other people that I've heard say that. So there goes one of y'all perspectives. So anyway, I would like y'all to just, I don't know, let that marinate. I'm not here with like everything else I say, telling you that I have the answer for this. I'm just listening to a lot of the conversation. So like I asked y'all, when people said, oh, Mechee be arguing too much to take away from her message. This was the second thing that I said. I'm asking you a question. I'm proposing this to y'all. So it's something for y'all to take away, something for everybody, to think about, because at the end of it all, Cherish, you is late. We about to get out of here. I've been here for a minute too. I think that we need to find a way to come together though. We're 13% of the population, and we have to agree on something. And so I think we should start thinking about that. But I will tell you, the bottom line for me is that we can't just sit back and not be involved in politics. It is too important to our life for us to act like we shouldn't. That's not smart. The thing is that I don't think so many of us understand politics like we thought we did. Some of us were not even concerned about politics. And I know plenty of Black people who just go and vote Democrat, don't understand, what's going on or anything in this country. They just go and they vote Democrat because that's what they've been taught to do. So I know a lot of Black people who have done that, right? But what I would say is that we need to understand politics, and in understanding them, then we move forward from there. But to say that we should not participate and sit on the sideline, that I will never agree with, because there are things that sometimes do need your attention, right? I've always said to y'all too, I feel like local politics are very important compared to, who the president is and shit like that. When you talk about your local politics, those are things you definitely need to be paying attention to, what's going on in your city. You need to be concerned about who your mayor is, who your governor is. You need to be concerned about who your district attorney is. You need to, Black man said they lying about the 13%. They might be, but I mean, we're definitely not the biggest population here. I agree with that. So, what we do need is pay attention to stuff like that, because this is the things that affect our lives. If you think that they're sending Black people to prison left and right, or your children trying them as adults, You do know those charges were decided by the district attorney. You do know the district attorney is voted in. So there are a lot of things that are going on in your community that you should be dealing with, because then we sit back and talk about the conditions of our community. But if you're not out there fighting for it, then other people are making a decision for you. Don't let other people make that decision for you, because politics comes back to everything in our life. So that's just what I really want us to understand. There are sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, there's some shit I'll be like, fuck that shit, I ain't voting on that shit, because either way it go, it don't make no difference to me. But then there are some shit that you should care about, right? So we need to find a strategy, you guys. I think we're really divided in this. I've heard a lot of Black people make that comment, though, that we should just, so I want to talk about that a little bit. We should just vote for Republicans to teach the Democrats a lesson, and then hopefully, I guess this is their hope, is that come the next election, right, in 4 years from now, that the Democrats will actually give us something to win our vote back. I don't know. I mean, it's a theory, but who knows? Maybe they won't, because I've heard other people also say, nope, they're just replacing us right now. And if we leave, they will learn how to get along with other groups of people, and they just will replace us with all the immigrants they're trying to push to bring into this country, making them citizens. And then they will overwhelmingly, you'll look up, and all these immigrants that are now citizens will be giving their vote 98% to the Democrats, right? So, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I'm leaving those questions for y'all, but I just think it's something we need to start thinking about as Black people. It's something that we need to, okay, somebody else said we're not 13%. Okay. I mean, I don't know. That's what's put out there, 13, 14%. I don't know. I don't know where to argue that. I don't know where to find any other different information that says that we are. What I will tell you is that we are definitely not one of the largest populations. I do believe firmly that white folks are the largest population here, and then the Hispanics are the fastest growing population in this country, right behind that. So even if we're not 13%, we're definitely not, the biggest population here. We're not that. So, I mean, that I know. So I don't know what y'all want me to do with that. I'm just giving you the information that we've been given. But I don't believe we're the biggest. We definitely know that. So I don't know. Y'all start thinking about that, though. We in 2020. So we ain't got much time to waste, you guys. We got to start thinking about these things. And I'm just throwing it out there, right? Those are different strategies. I've heard Black people mention this way or that way. So I just wanted to throw them out there. And I want y'all to start thinking about them and thinking which way works best for us, because we got to get down with some kind of idea before it's all said and done, because not doing nothing is not going to work, right? Shout out to you, Uncle Doug. Thank you for that. You said they can't replace us with immigrants if they're not in power. Yeah, but that doesn't mean Republicans are going to always be in power. So, eventually they get back into power. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like they're still in there. I mean, they're part of the House, they're part of the Senate, so they're still part of the government, right? And then you have Democrats who are all in local politics. So it's not like it completely edges them out, because you can have a Republican in the White House, but you can also have plenty of Democrats doing local shit that are in seats in your community. So it's like one of those things, you play that game too long with this guy that you want to chase you. Let me give you this analogy, because I believe this is what Sid is trying to say. Like, and some people who say that if we do that, this will happen. Not that Sid is saying this, but basically, if you run off too long and play this game of, oh, I'm gonna tease you by going after another guy to make you want me, and then that dude that you're trying to make chase you just becomes real cool with another chick, and now they don't want you back because they've actually replaced you when that time comes, then what, right? So, to say that they're not in power, you're still going to have some say. I mean, Republicans are not going to run everything, right, across the board in your local communities and all of that. So there will still be Democrats that will be doing work in the meantime. And it doesn't mean that they won't ever come back into position again. That's all I'm saying. So it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about politics. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. Apparently, Dr. Shauna had a really dope video with a good strategy. Apparently, see it. Everybody else said it was fire. So I'm going to post her video in the community section. I'm going to go watch it, right? Because I didn't watch it. So let's go check it out. Apparently, a couple people think that Dr. Shauna gave some type of strategy of what she thinks we should do. They thought it was really dope. So let's go check it out. Let's go see it, right? At the end of the day, we got to keep having these conversations until we find where we agree across the board. And then for the most part, and then we got to make that work, right? So with that said, y'all, I'm going to get the hell out of here because I've been here long as heck tonight. Look, I will read out donations, but my dang phone done died up here. That's how long I've been up here. So I will be back tomorrow, everybody. Y'all do me a favor before y'all leave, though, right? Hit that like button, please. And it don't cost you money to hit the like button. Y'all to watch the whole video, and some of the, if you still hear some of the video, if you really like it, you can thumbs down this motherfucker too. But you been here this long, y'all can give me a thumbs up for y'all get out of here. Like this video, share this video, you guys, and subscribe if you have not. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I'm live, whenever YouTube is not hating. Good night, Lisa. Thank you for tuning in, sis. You have a good night. And I will be back tomorrow, even though it is Saturday. I wanted to talk about these things, but tomorrow we're going to have a discussion, you guys, about the divide between Black men and Black women and who's to blame, right? And I know y'all already in your head, like, well, it's me and it's women, but maybe it ain't either one of us, right? It's one thing of who's to blame, and then it's another thing of who's responsible for changing where we're at. I don't think those answers are the same at all, but we're going to have that discussion tomorrow, you guys, because that's a conversation that goes on a whole lot in the Black community. And I'm really just tired of hearing. I'm tired of watching all these Black women YouTubers say, oh, Black men ain't shit. And I'm tired of the Black men YouTubers that all their channels is about talking about, oh, Black women ain't shit. And Black women need to do this. And Black men need to do that. Like, at the end of the day, I'm tired of us blaming each other, right? So we're going to talk about the dynamics of how the Black man and woman got divided and who the hell's responsible for this. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how do we come up out of this shit, right? Because before we talk about allies with anybody else, we got to be each other allies, right? So Black men and Black women need to come together. And then there's another question. Are Black men and Black women really that divided? Do we have an illusion of separation? So these are just some things to think about, right? There are not a lot of Black men in the home, but are most of the Black men not there because they don't want to be or because they can't be, right? So, and when it comes to relationships, we'll talk about all of those things because sometimes we think we're not together, but who told us that? So where do we actually get that perspective? Because I see a lot of Black men and Black women who work together. So we're going to talk about that topic from every scenario. We're going to break it down to its last compound. See how it sounds, right? A little irrational. Not suckers like to use the word dramatic. Fresh for 88, you suckers. I know I'm old. So anyway, y'all know where that's from. You know where it's from. If you don't, you don't. So we'll talk about all that tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. If anybody did donate to the Cash App and PayPal, I will read those out tomorrow. My phone is dead, so I can't do it tonight. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Friday. And thank y'all for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys later.